A land conquered. That's a powerful phrase. When you hear it, what do you see? A home worn down by the boots of empire? A people torn apart by strife or bowed and bent by oppression? That's what they want you to see. When they conquered our home, the empire thought they had taken everything from us. But what they don't understand is the more you take, the hungrier people get. And friend, we got hungry. When we had lost everything, we found each other. We found ancient truths and forgotten poems and stories that told us who we used to be. Together, we drove out the conquerors. Now, our home, our haven, is a land reclaimed.
Hey, welcome everyone. Good evening. How are you doing? It is Wednesday, and that means that it is once again time for All Nerds Here's Haven, a Land Reclaimed, an actual play of Legacy Free from the Yoke by Minerva McJanda and Fyodor Kasatkin, which is itself an adaptation of just Legacy, powered by the Apocalypse. We here at All Nerds Here are a group of tabletop loving merrymakers who play games for your entertainment. If you are having a good time here, there's of course a Discord to check out. You can get some amazing discounts on merch from the So Nerdware store, where you can use the code RASSLE to get 10% off of your purchase. WRASSLE. Um, it is God, what a Wednesday it is, right? I mean, I think about where we were last week for Wednesday, and it's kind of a relief, right? I mean, we're not completely out of the metaphorical woods, but here we are, and I'm glad that you're all here with us again, as always. It's lovely to see so many wonderful folks in the chat. Uh, let's go ahead and get right into it. I'm JR. I'm the Arbiters. My pronouns are he, him. I'm playing the Guardians of History playbook. I'm the GM for this game. I have the mission to show the costs of stasis. That's what the Guardians of History are all about. They are sometimes reactionary and very against things that kind of take people away from the traditions of the glorified past that they hold dear in their minds. Next to me, both on the screen and in my heart, is Simon.
Hello, everybody. My name is Simon. My pronouns are he, him, and I am playing the house, the newfound family. We are known as the Woven in the game world. And I am also playing the character, Shochi, who has been through a lot of ups and downs and various positions within the family. She was the factor, but now that we've changed ages, she's going to become the ambassador.
Excellent. And then after that, we've got Alex.
Hey there, everyone. I'm Alex. I use he, him pronouns, and I'll be playing Chimali, who uses she, her pronouns. She is a member of the Fortress of the Marbled City, styled in this game as the Fortress of Unbroken Bonds, and was formerly ambassador, and now she has one of her ancestor spirits living inside her head, and is the lore master.
Ooh. And then we have the incomparable Rue.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rue, and my pronouns are she, her. I'm using the Teachers of Ancient Truth playbook, which is renamed Ashes of Prithvi for the game, and I'm playing Veeb, whose pronouns are also she, her, and she is one of the council leaders of the Ashes. She was a scout in the last age, and she has shifted to the lore master.
Ooh. And then next to Rue and beneath Simon, we've got Viditya.
Hi, yeah, I'm Viditya. I use he, him pronouns. I will be playing the Church of the Forgotten Lands playbook, which in our setting is called the Sages of Cinder. And last age, I had been playing the character Mithra, but this age, I've changed my character, and I will be playing Shuda, the Bogatir playbook, so like the warrior playbook. Which I'm and she is she her pronouns, and I'm pretty excited to see what she gets up into.
Excellent. And then joining us here momentarily, we also have Kevin, who is about to appear on your internet screen machine.
Hello, I am here to break everything. I, of course, showed up late. I'm here to break the stream. It is what I do. Hi, I am Kevin. I'm playing. What are we doing? Intros. I play the Riverfolk, Riverkin, playbook Brotherhood of the Serpent. I'm on Zoom, right? Okay. Fuck.
I did it. I got it.
Yeah. Thank you. I am playing. I am still playing Wien, and they are switching their playbook to Vagabond. My pronouns are he, him. Wien's pronouns are he, they.
Oh, that's very good. That's incredibly good. What an intro! What an entrance!
What an entrance.
I don't know that one man should have that much power. Like entering with the double Zoom and Google Meet audio is pro MLG strats.
That's a power move.
Oh, I fucked it up that bad. Okay.
It was great. I love it. I'm here for it. I don't want anything else in my life. That said,
How do I
think-
chat as a bot?
I think we are ready to begin. So, it has been 10 years since fire met sky. It has been 10 years since the Arbiter's gates opened and a being of flame stepped through.
Okay, never mind.
Since then, the people of Haven have labored on as they always have. But the gates opening sowed the seeds of change. And if there was one thing that the Arbiters cannot abide, it is change that they do not control. In the houses of the Woven, spirits of fire from Skyfire Peak now dwell and teach their secret ways and shop and dine and live as humans do, a process that has been changing them as much as it has changed the people of the Woven. In the green and golden lands of the Sages of Cinder to the north, near the city of Bangaram, which has grown perhaps faster than they had intended. The people are flocking from beyond just the houses of the sages. It is becoming a metropolis in makeup of people, if not in size. near the gate where the forgers of I'm sorry, Alex, remind me your house name again.
Unbroken Bonds.
Forgers of Unbroken Bonds, that's what it was. Where they have built their cities of stone and now flame. There are new schools of thought and architecture arising. Amongst the Riverfolk, it has been a decade of preparation for a war that has not come. It has been a decade of vigilance and vanguarding, and yet there's been no sign of an invasion. That is, unless you cast your eyes out to the archipelago, where a small force of the Hua might have been seen scouting out once, though of course surely the harbor that the Riverfolk built, the safe harbor that they built after the Empire was cast out and tossed aside and rebuked, is still in the hands of Haven. Meanwhile, deep within the darkest and most ancient jungle, the Ashes of Prithvi have discovered new truths, but squirreled them aside for now, focused on what's useful to them as they grow and embrace a strange sort of balance between modernity and the traditions of the past. Through it all, the Arbiters struggle to maintain their hold on this land that seems determined to grow, but grow unchecked. Around the industrial wasteland, where spirits were once twisted and forced to serve the empire that no longer rules, a vast forest has sprung up, not quite overnight, but it has grown far more in the last 10 years than anyone has expected. It is the silent forest. There are no birds singing within. There are no animals found if you send scouts within its vast and twisted pathways. The Changers of Coin, however, have made a name for themselves, and their influence in the Arbiters grows day by day, year by year. They sit at the Arbiter's right hand, basically. And so it is that we find the people of Haven once again facing a new age, an age where growth has hit that tipping point, and the future of Haven must yet again be decided. And that brings us to the turning of the age. This is a part of Legacy Free from the Yoke. There are different kind of tiers of play where occasionally you change seasons and sometimes you change ages. So briefly, I just want to go over what changing the ages means for us. The Arbiter's previous project, which was to construct a series of elemental gates, has been complete. So everyone has gained a boon based on how that construction has gone. I think you all have marked your different like choices, right?
Mm-hmm.
If briefly you want to talk about them, go ahead and do it.
Wait, what was my? Oh yeah, attunement. I can go first. So something that happened with the opening of the gates is a place on the map that was called the Great Fire Pit. Was once like ridden with ghosts that could not pass, and it was like a terrible haunted spiritual land. Seems to have opened up better. Those spirits, there was a gate there, and those spirits seem to have at least become a little less restless, and so our people are able to move there. So what I gathered was I got the attunement. A surplus of attunement because we performed a ritual around the site, and therefore have now gone closer with the land and the spirits of the place.
And that's sort of the broad story of your family through the age. You also can change your family's doctrine, lifestyle, and custom options as desired. Which I believe you've already done.
Yeah, we used to be a network of churches, I think is what it was. We were something like that. It was, we used to be a network of churches, but now because we have this city that was once ours and is now that we lost and is now once ours. We are now a city of pilgrims. So it has become kind of a central hub for us and of people.
And while we're at it, you've already mentioned your new character. What as part of the Turning of the Ages, because Legacy is a very collaborative world-building game, everyone gets to add one new threat, opportunity, or faction to the map. Which did you pick?
I was actually kind of curious because I feel like adding the city kind of felt like a new opportunity was kind of the thing. It was okay, now here is land, here is a place. I'm not sure if maybe I should have done more, but I felt like that was kind of
I feel like you should do more. Maybe add something. It doesn't have to be huge, but I think that the city is just kind of a
Ooh,
consequence, of the narrative.
yeah. Can I? I'm gonna ask this, but this has to do with the river folk. So the
Yeah.
Mahasmasana, oh my god. It's a big word. Mahasmasanam is and Bangaram, which are like these two things. They flank the Serpent Song.
Mhm.
How would you feel if the new opportunity is the dam is breaking?
Ooh.
Or like now the sages are even more like, we're like, hey, we need to get this river flowing again, kind of deal.
Let's show off our map real quick while you're talking about
Oh, yeah.
this.
Let me get that up. All right, it's up.
I mean, I'm for it. Alex, that's
Yeah.
more like
What
you
are,
stepping
what
on
are you
Alex's
implying
toes.
about our craftsmanship?
Well, like I guess cracking or something is like, yeah, like I think maybe that's like there's new life or there's like new water or like something is happening there that requires like attention. I think.
Mm.
Oh,
Successful.
I like that.
Maybe
I'm
there's
for it.
something growing on it?
oh yeah. There's something growing and it's like breaking, and we're like, hey, we need this. We need this
Cool. So go ahead
river
and
flowing.
add that to the map, and let's check in with the Woven. If you're ready to go, Simon.
Yeah, we'll be doing some of this live, I think, because I've been thinking about it.
Yeah, let's
and
do it.
Want to kind of work through it.
Way to
So-
find out.
We've got some stuff going on. The Woven in Last Age, one of the last things that happened was that Shochi, first of all, secured a solution to our lack of attunement. We're very disconnected from the spirits and from magic by sort of ordering the fire spirits from Peak to come in and live with us, specifically in Covenant. They wanted to learn from humans, and so we're giving them a chance to learn as much as they can from other humans, which Shochi used to have a move that I think I should roll,
Yes.
which is radical political upheaval. When she convinces people to undergo radical change, I roll with her cunning, and that radical change is like, hey, you're going to live with fire spirits, and they're going to take up residence in our capital city, going to like teach us about magic and spirit things, and we're going to teach them, and you have to accept that they're going to go into your stores and walk down the street, and like they're part of the community now. So I don't know how people are going to respond to that.
Go ahead and roll your cunning,
All right, so got a 6 in the dice and a +2 cunning, which is an 8.
On a 7 and 9, you pick, I think, one of those. Yes, you gain need morale. When passions cool, the populace begins to second guess the wisdom of this decision. So I think largely this makes a lot of sense. But you can also now shift your doctrine or lifestyle to whatever you'd like, or swap one family move for another.
Yeah. So if I already had a surplus of morale, does that mean that it cancels
It
out?
just cancels out, yeah.
That makes sense. All right. And I think actually, instead of changing doctrine, because doctrines will change during the age,
Right.
I might want to take a different family move.
Yeah.
I
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So we used to have shunned labor,
Mm-hmm.
which was the service that we provide by burying bodies and stuff, which would cause us to lose prestige but gain coin every season. And
Mhm.
Whisper Network, where we spread word of people's wrongdoing to help people. I didn't end up using that any of last age. And I think the shunned labor still is a service, obviously, that's needed. So I think I want to trade out Whisper Network for oh god, I've got two really good options here. I've got Fresh
Yeah,
Eyes, which is like the people here have these biases about the world, but we don't. We're sort of like new agents to be able to look into things. So we can change we can change the way that we interact with the Unearthed Forgotten lore move,
Mhm.
and we don't have to. We can change conditions when we learn rituals,
Absolutely.
or we can just throw a feast once a season.
Which does
Ooh.
all kinds of good stuff.
Does all kinds of good stuff. That's such a cool move. I wanted to have it from the get-go,
Yeah.
and I think maybe that's the one that we take. Is like now that we have these fire spirits, I think it's definitely like it
Yeah.
seems like it's a mixed bag, but people are like tentatively excited by it.
Yeah.
And so maybe now we have like a fire festival
Hey.
once a season where we give everyone just a terrible little ham sandwich in a plastic container.
Ooh, you strand everyone out on an island with some harps. Take that, Instagram influencer festival.
Oh my god.
Take that, Ja Rule. Was it Ja Rule? It
Oh,
was
right,
Ja
yeah.
Rule, right?
I never
So we
watched.
take that.
I don't know if like it seems like the sort of thing that would happen to like Fuck Jerry. I don't think they were involved, but I just want them to suffer.
It was them, I think.
Oh, well, great, even better.
Yeah. Come up at last.
Hooray! Don't steal people's content.
Yeah.
It is too much Ja Rule.
All right. So we're gonna take Grand Feast, and I'm gonna copy that move over later. And then moving right along. Oh, I think I also did Canny Trader for that.
Canny Trader. So you get to pick. What's Shochi's cunning?
Her cunning was 2, so I get 2
So
options.
pick 2 of these.
I can, when she personally adds a surplus to our house's wealth, which that being a surplus of attunement, right?
You did. Yep.
For those spirits, which again is going to be gathered at Covenant. I can treat those present to luxury and celebrations, gaining fleeting advantage on mood rolls.
No.
Gain a clue on how we can remove a need and get fleeting advantage to act on it. Get a free option the next time we prepare in provision, or she prepares in provisions, or exaggerate the value and get influence on the buyer when you sell it on. I don't want to do that because we're not selling these spirits.
Yeah. Good. Yes.
I think let's do the first 2. She probably sent back like funds or like helped organize like a welcoming ceremony.
Perhaps the initial fire festival.
Right, the first fire festival.
Yeah.
And then the one that didn't get a Netflix special. And then we're gonna gain a clue on how we can remove it.
What need do you want to learn? Have a clue to remove.
Well, I've got a need for justice in
be
life and out of game, in and out of game.
Yeah.
I have
We
a need for
leadership,
Holy shit.
need for prestige. We should have a need for speed, but I think that was only on the before. And
I mean, you got permission to buzz the tower, so you know.
yeah, that's good. That's true. I think we get a clue on leadership here.
Ooh, okay. So I think it happens at the next fire feast that you throw, and I will give you that clue, which is, I guess we could have like a brief moment of it. Your leaders disappeared into the land of the dead, right? And you sent 6 people from different walks of life and different situations, personally and spiritually, into the realms of the dead deep below the earth, and they have been silent. They've been silent for 10 years. But I think over this last year, there have been signs. I think marigolds have been blossoming out of season. I think hummingbirds have been seen flitting around in places where they have not I think butterflies that carry whispers inhabit the gardens of Covenant, and on the first day of the 10th year, there is a single solitary knock from the door below, basically. So I
Oh,
think,
there's a door.
well, metaphorical door, you know.
Okay.
It's like, you know, there's a sign. There's a sign that they are trying to communicate again. And I think the way to get that need is to find a way to communicate back with them, to hear their message.
Word. Okay.
And that so that was last season, and then this season, how have you been? How we doing?
Well, we've undergone some pretty radical change by letting these fire spirits into our communities. They're not just like the Woven are used to acquiring all kinds of people into the ranks. They did it before when they crossed the salt flats. They did it when they showed up in Haven itself. But those are people. Those are humans. They're not spirits. And spirits, we have a very touch and go relationship with, because we trust, you know, our ancestors and the physical and the underworld. And so the overworld is kind of this other, like, we wear masks to protect ourselves from those spirits. And now they're among us. What do? Obviously, the first thing we need to do is to call an emergency meeting.
Right.
To discuss, and then probably vote Red off of out of Covenant.
I mean, always
I saw
Red
Vidvin.
always
But I think
Red out.
on a more serious note, yeah, everyone's kind of starting to get used to it, very, very cautiously. So I should roll to paint my debts.
Yes.
Which is a 7 on the dice.
Ooh.
We didn't really manage our land this last game.
No, you did not manage your land, but you did seek out the company of spirits and form very personal connections.
Did.
And you found new customs. So I think had a
Well,
plus.
here's the thing. Did we do that, or did we descend into infighting because we had that huge factional split between
I
Shochi
think
and Tisbal?
Maybe both.
Yeah, wait, didn't you overthrow Tisfall?
Well, we didn't
Not-
overthrow him yet.
Yeah,
Soon.
Right. Sorry. It's
Have to
10 years in
have
the making,
Mhm.
right?
Maybe those two. Maybe
This
those.
guy's on sabbatical. He's still in charge.
I
I'm
saw.
taking my ball and going home.
Just super old.
Oh my god.
I could see that just like leveling out. I think those cancel each other out.
Yeah. So it looks like you won't have enough to get up to a 10. So I think pick one from forget a ritual from your traditions, add a new condition to all your rituals, gain need crops, gain need attunement, which doesn't make the most sense, or
No.
commit to overthrowing the arbiter.
We're not there yet. We're certainly there in our hearts, but we're not there in force yet. I think what makes the most sense, we don't have any rituals
Mhm.
at all,
Oh.
which leaves us with our land withering. We
I
have a
think-
need for crops.
I think that makes sense, especially
fuck
since you
yeah.
don't really manage or tend it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Works for me.
I love that.
We've kind of gone over the broad story of your family. Have you talked about your new doctrine, lifestyle, or customs?
No, but I'd love to.
Please,
So
tell me about it.
here's the deal. What's going on? There's some great people in chat.
Yeah.
There are some great people in the chat. Welcome all. Welcome one and all.
Yeah,
We're
I'm in
in
chat.
the middle of our.
I'm in chat.
We're
Yeah.
all in chat.
F's in chat. Damn, we got the whole squad behind you. You got the whole city behind you, right?
Perfect.
Oh, we're fine.
Will
Um,
Funch and Dan come back?
So the Woven's doctrine used to be about mutual protection, right? As a house, as a diasporic house of all these different people from different communities, we initially wanted to protect each other against predation. We didn't really have the chance to do that a lot. And so, like, from a meta perspective and also a story perspective, I think we're more shifting towards communal solidarity,
That
which is
makes
absolutely
sense.
what we did the most. right? You scratch my back, I scratch yours. Shochi spent so much time delegating resources to helping the forgers with their issues, with commissioning the river folk, to deal with the Hua in the south. And so now, when we comfort groups suffering misfortune, we erase one of their needs, which we have as a surplus, and
Yes.
optionally move their favor a step towards ours.
So that could be up or down, depending.
Yes,
Wow.
we are very influential.
Wait, oh.
And I was thinking about changing our lifestyle, but we're not anywhere closer to like having nomadic lifestyle,
Hmm.
and we're still not really integrating, even though I think we're everywhere. We're mostly
Yeah.
consolidated within Covenant, and so
Right. I think
still
that
are insulated
remains.
cities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. And then you also gained a boon from successfully completing the construction.
Yes. Real quick, our customs that
Oh,
we
yes.
changed those. Our rule used to be elected voices of the people. Now the loudest voices dominate.
Yep.
I think Tizpal is like put his foot down.
Yeah.
Established like a dynasty.
Hmm.
Our populace used to be working together to win the prestige we deserve. Now there is tension between youngsters wanting to assimilate and elders holding on to old ways. I think there's a whole generation that's like, yo, spirits are cool.
Oh, fuck
Why-
yeah.
Why do we live underground and like
Ooh.
worship bones when we could like maybe do that and also go above ground and like hang out with these fire spirits?
Hang out with these
Heck yeah.
friends. Fucking love that.
Love it.
And our culture remains to demonstrate with our wisdom and actions why others should be grateful that we live with them.
Yo. Grandpa's spirit.
Haven't yet figured out what our new custom is, but we need to create one to commemorate sort of the actions of the age. But it might be something like maybe we've changed our policy on like being above ground,
Hmm.
or like something like spirits live overworld. They can't go underground
Hmm.
because like we can't. But we're embracing the two halves of the coin. So like they can be
Right.
in the communities, but this is for humans and this is for spirits.
Right.
Sacred and
So
forbidden.
maybe there's like you still wear the masks, but like in the city or when you're not working, you don't wear them or something like that.
Yeah, like maybe we've loosened up on our like
Your
we
mask.
have to protect ourselves around
Yeah.
spirits or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like a familiarity. It's like, okay, we'll take it off to respect your whatever. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And then what did you get from completing the construction?
Yeah, so even though we've been pushed to the side
Mm-hmm.
by the arbiter for the last age,
Mhm.
I think we still proved that we had a fair amount of military prowess, and we still like helped everyone else with
Yeah,
the
totally.
construction project. And so I think that somehow gave us a custodial role over the construction of the gates,
Ooh.
which would give us a grasp and
Surplus spies.
surplus of spies from watching the comings and goes. Although it might make more sense that we hide agents among the builders.
Oh, that's also an.
I think that's actually it because we sent all those recruits to help the
that
forgers.
feels like what Shochi would have done.
Oh.
And I think maybe that's a sore spot is that Tizpal was angling for the custodial role.
And
uh,
Shoji kind of like kicked that down the stairs.
You gain one fight and
gain a
surplus
fight.
raw materials.
Surplus raw.
Quickly here, what did you add to the map?
Yeah,
what did you add to the
so we can add a new faction, a threat, or what else is the other thing? Opportunity. So thinking ahead, I chose as the ambassador. One of the roles that you can choose for the ambassador
Mhm.
is to decry ties
Mhm.
with your faction to deal with a larger threat.
Ooh.
And the GM says why everyone is not on board. Disclaim ties to build a greater alliance. Say whether a larger threat needs everyone to band together to defeat it. The GM says it's distracting your allies from facing the threat.
Okay. So what is the larger threat?
So we were talking about this in chat,
Mhm,
and I don't know what your plans were for them, but I
mhm.
really love the idea. Can we bring in the Tusk Lords?
I think so.
The-
Yeah,
the
let's bring them in.
Yeah.
So we're
Wait.
talking in chat about the idea of like the people to the north, to our northern border up here, as being like not like step lords of some kind. And we already have the Thunder Lords who like ride dinosaurs.
They're down here.
They chill over in that part of the world, and I
So-
love.
I love
The
that.
Tusk Lords are up here, and they are a group of sort of city-states that maybe were once a larger empire, but have since become fractious, and they ride mammoths.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, and so I think now elephant riders to the northwest bring news of battle
Ooh,
as they. We said that we were kind of tentatively floating the idea that they haven't really cared about Haven
mhm.
before, but maybe now they want to expand, or we
Yeah.
have something that they want.
Oh, I like that.
Ooh,
I
okay.
like that. And so
One.
they are kind of mustering. They're the larger threat. I think that your allies don't. They have their own things to worry about. Your
Yeah.
allies within your house are dealing with this very obvious but still unacknowledged factional schism. I think Tizpal and Shochi are in a cold war with each other. And I think that what is distracting the rest of the allies is the fact that the Tusk Lords are so they're fractious, right? And I think that how history can sometimes turn on like just the strangest coincidences, like World War World War One or started because of the assassination of the Archduke Ferdinand, right? And that was like a comedy of errors in almost not killing him, like because the guy that did it stopped in for a sandwich, he saw the motorcade go past and was able to do it after like failing twice.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's something like that that's kind of distracting everyone, because I think that when the empire was overthrown, the arbiters sent out envoys to reach out to their allies to try and talk to other people. But the envoy that was supposed to go out to the people to the north, I think they died. I think just a natural like a landslide or maybe
Landslide, right?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Flash frost.
And they were discovered recently by one of the mammoth riders, and I think it's from a smaller, weaker house. And the envoy had an invitation to meet with the people of Haven, and I think it came from the arbiters acting through the changes of coin, and I by circumstance. Envoys from the Mammoth Riders, from a group known as the Ivory, have recently showed up in Bangaran, where they previously believed that the changers of coin were headquartered, but they sold that off, and so they've made contact with the sages. So there's like a faction of them trying to establish contact, while the rest of them are like, no, let's
Yeah.
split up.
Okay. Oh, I like that. Yeah.
And this gives us some like fun external pressure to do
Mhm.
it.
Also, I like that it's like my house is not super worried about them, even though I guess we're the first like
They're
barrier.
literally
They're like
like-
right over there.
I don't think that
It's, like
it's,
right in the that.
I don't think it's widely known that they're like a bunch of Renaissance Italy style city states where they're all kind of the same people, but they all have very different agendas. You
Right.
know, I think they're just the Tusk Lords, as far as people in Haven know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I like that.
But the audience will know different. Very cool. I think that's everything for you. Let's double check here. And we've gone through your new playbook, which we've just kind of outlined, and you've added the threat to the map. So let's there. Oh, there it is. Beautiful.
Should I go through my moves real quick?
Oh yeah. Tell us about your move. Introduce your
Well, so Shochi was the factor. She was sort of like an administrator and a spy master for the Woven. And so how she's changed physically, she remains feminine. She has a striking face with piercing eyes. She's become hardened over the last 10 years with a hale body. She is the outsider. So she's trying to build this alliance to deal with this Tusk Lord threat. And the two moves that I chose will come as no surprise to anybody, I think. Sly words. Like all successful politicians, you know how to exploit the weakness of others. When you use someone's shameful or illicit secrets as leverage, one of the requirements they pick for find common ground must be you promise to keep the secret hidden.
Ooh.
And I have long memories. When you enter a new court, roll plus lore. On a 7 to 9, name one secret of the leaders and an enemy of theirs. On a 10 plus, you've helped one of those parties in a major way. Say how.
God, this game is so good. This game is so good, y'all. It's on UFO Press. Go get it. It's so much fun. All right.
Damn.
That's very good. And then, of course, you've already, from your previous experience, been a leader and a champion?
She was a champion, yeah.
Yes, a champion. So, very good.
And
Very
do those remain marked?
I think so. I think they remain marked. And so I think you keep the upgrades from them. So if you gained a new move, pick up a new ambassador move or something like that.
Sure. I'll do that in the background.
Yeah. Cool. That's Shochi. That's the Woven. Let's talk to let's hear from the River Folk.
Are you muted, Kevin? Yes.
You might be muted. I think you're muted.
We will never hear from the river folk.
Taking
Or
them out.
or you're just moving your mouth and not saying sounds and trolling us.
Oh my god. Oh, I gotta do that.
One time you gotta do
The
that.
river folk do not speak, they act. They do not.
History
out.
would
Deeds,
agree
not
with
words.
you.
We do
cannot-
not spitfire. We just drop it from the sky.
You just drop,
Drop it like it's hot.
Can't firebomb everything.
Want to bet?
Okay, but how are you gonna firebomb a volcano city made of lava?
We can do it.
Ineffectually.
So, tell me about the River Folk through this age.
In this age, they, as folks who last time on Haven, we saw that the River Folk had reclaimed the temple in the sacred like bamboo and kelp forests of the teachers, and they had claimed it for their own as a forward operating base and
Which
as a
reminds me, I'm
necessary
gonna
resource.
up the turmoil of our land, real quick.
Oh, real quick,
Shit.
I did realize, since we did behind the scenes, I did get morale as I co-opted it from the teachers. I am flush with resources, so I can cue that move real quick, right?
Yeah, cute. Trigger that.
Wow.
Okay, should I cross that out?
So,
Give
flush with
up
resources.
which
I just
is
get to pick a thing.
yes.
What happens when
so
you
this
don't
is
give away your resources?
apparently. So flush with resources is
No,
a-
because we fictionalized it that as the river folk were claiming by force this land of them, since we already got like scolded for it twice over.
like, oh, all right, fine. Since you're saying
gonna
we can
get
do it, we're
answers
actually
then.
doing it. So when your mood would go over +3, erase one surplus and pick one. So get rid of a surplus.
Yes. I will.
And you pick one. You trade it for information. Ask the GM one of the questions from Read the Wind. read the wind, and you're in a great position to take advantage of it. Gift the excess to your allies. Gain advantage with reach until the end of this age. Make a show of power with a great celebration. Gain advantage with grasp until the end of this age. Finance a network of informants. Gain advantage with sleight until the end of this age. Or invest in better equipment and permanently unlock one more asset option. You can only pick each option once per age.
I think what it is that towards the at the beginning of the age, the Riverfolk hold a celebration of their victory, routing the Hua to whatever degree they are, and they are going to spread around those resources to the other factions.
Oh,
Spread it around.
I like that.
Like
Yeah.
butter.
They gift the excess to their allies, so we get advantage with reach until the end of this age.
Oh dang!
wait.
really
Oh, so it's like, here you go. Here's some stuff, and then like,
So
So-
y'all remember, like we gave you all this shit, and I think we are
you don't get
dispersing.
influence?
No, that is something else. But
It's just a boon for whoever goes flush with resources.
Oh, okay.
and you know what? I am going to disperse, like fictionally. I'm just erasing this, but dispersing in such a way. I disperse the jade that we co-opted from the Arbiter.
Ooh. I love it. I love it. Great. Next we have what you did during the age.
Yeah, after the celebration, we got to work. We turned this forest into a fucking fortress.
Ah, good. Yes, good.
And,
Wait, down in the forest?
Yeah, like we took ships and crashed them and made just like a barrier reef almost, so that no
Mhm.
ships could moor on that end of the island.
Right, because you've been preparing for a fight against the Hua, which are they're the folks to the southeast on our map.
Yes.
They before Haven was Haven, they had brutally colonized and oppressed the river folk.
Yes.
And
we
so-
we did more of the same shit that nobody liked. Like we started, what's it called? We started commissioning. What? No, starts with a C. When you force people to become soldiers in a war. Conscripting. Yeah, sorry, I misheard. Yes, we started conscripting folks of other people's groups and into our military force because the Hua are nothing to fuck with, and we started co-opting resources and shit like that. So like we became the bad guys for a while, like legitimately.
right,
Like we declared martial law
but
and like
towards the end of the age.
yeah, towards the end of the age. If we want to zoom in a little bit, like out of one of the gates, a figure walks out that has not been seen in this entire age.
Right, because when last we left, Win walked into a gate filled with stars and space and vanished. And then the gate closed.
And no one else followed.
They have not been seen for a decade.
Wynn thought they were just gonna go get teleported back to the forests.
Instead, they went to the only place that hasn't been tainted by capitalism.
So Wynn walks out of another gate, indiscriminate to the audience, which gate it might be. Walks out looking exactly the way they did when they walked in. Sort of just dressed, still ragged from battle. No axe on their hip, interesting enough, which we will get to in a little bit.
Oh, right.
But they return, and then as we cut to a meeting of the captain's table for the river folk, they are meeting to discuss further action, and then Wynn bursts in and gives them a talking to, which I will not subject y'all to, but like gives them a whole speech about how look as they traveled across the land, they saw the impression that the river folk have made in their martial law, the state of martial law, and that they give a speech impassioning the river folk to like sort of pull into Haven. Like, no, you can't just use these people as resources. They are people. These are other factions. You need to work with them. You're stronger for them, not with them, or not just
Yeah,
because of them.
we have to protect each other together, not in spite of each other.
Right.
that sort of insular, because we talked about this and you were saying that that insular attitude
Yeah.
was wanted to play with, like moving away from that, and like
Exactly.
what do warriors in a like a community in a communal situation look like, and what is it when they aren't being the isolated, no, we're going to be ready to fight all the time no matter what, jackasses.
Yeah.
So
So,
you
like, the diplomats are going to have a little bit more leverage in this coming age, trying to going on an apology tour to all the other houses.
Oh wow.
and gotta love an apology tour when you don't have Twitter to make a two tweet long apology from that you disable or subscribe to.
Oh my God.
You gotta make a YouTube video and then
So,
demonetize it.
but Win has changed playbooks. Is that correct? As
Yes,
well as-
Win on their way out, they remove like some symbol of their captainhood and throw it on the table and walk away, relinquishing their status as a captain
Mhm.
of the table and just go to wander the land
That's so cool.
as a
That's
vagabond.
very good.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
walk the earth.
And what
Which I think technically
It's like Keanu
kicks off my
Reeves.
last roll.
it
So
does.
Win just retired.
So we'll say that we'll kind of get to that later. We'll retire when the time is right. But when the time is right, we're there. It all makes sense in time. Don't worry, I have a plan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's the thing. Win is gonna go walk around and try and help facilitate the river folks. Like try and do a little PR tour and help, but also the house is gonna try and we're gonna focus the house's efforts more on like fixing those bridges they burned.
Excellent. Do you want to go over your new moves?
Do I have a new move? I don't think I did.
All right.
Well, if you change playbooks,
as
you
Win
get
or house?
two new moves.
As the house.
So you should have no as Win.
As Win. Okay, yes. As Win, I do have new moves. The house doesn't change. The house is perfect. The house doesn't need to change. Yeah,
Well, I mean,
No flaws.
exactly.
potentially, we'll get to that in a minute. But real quick,
Oh.
Win's moves as the vagabond are a view below. After a taste of life in a settlement, you can learn the true shape of its society. Each day you're there, you ask the GM a couple questions, and those questions are like, I won't get into them, but they're about like who's in charge here, who has the power.
right?
how-
What's
like-
really going on here? Yeah. Very good. Very cool.
Kind of just reading the wind as a character.
And then what else you got?
Picking free agents. Your
Excellent.
name, your house, your history, all a mystery to those who meet you. No one will recognize you until you reveal yourself to them. Whenever your house follows up your actions with subterfuge, roll with advantage.
I love it.
Oh,
I love it. Sweet. And then, of course, your house. We've seen what your family story is through the age. Did you change doctrine, lifestyle, or customs?
No, as I said, those are perfect. The river folk are the perfect people.
Well, what is a new custom you developed to remember the age?
A new custom we developed to commemorate
To commemorate the age.
to commemorate the age. Let's see. Where are the customs? Let's get some.
I think it's
inspiration.
you make it up. I believe.
Yeah.
Just use your word.
Yeah. Let's
Use
see.
your word.
I just use my words. I can't have the designer tell me what to. I can't engage with the text.
You
Excuse
can.
me?
but you are engaging with the text. The text.
But yeah,
tells you
You
to
do
make
it.
they're giving you narrative agency.
You're near the River Folks new custom.
What is the
Never
river
done
folks new
anything
custom?
You can also come back to that.
Deny.
Yeah, I think so. I had not considered that.
We'll
That's
come
okay.
back to that. And finally, what did you add to the map? And we have a roll. We have to roll to pay your dues. So
Yes, we mentioned it earlier, but the Hua have established a forward operating base. They have claimed Safe Harbor, which is ironically named now, no longer safe.
And I think it's been like an insidious co-option of it. Like they didn't outright, like they did outright conquer it, but
Mhm.
they've been kind of operating in disguise. So like everything is business as normal there. Like they either killed or browbeat the people that live there into hiding the fact that that's now a Hua encampment.
Yeah, they sent like their demagogues and their assassins and their spies. So it was like a sort of like what the CIA does in third world countries, let's say.
Yeah. There's been a regime change, but hey,
Exactly.
those rechargeable batteries are going to be cheap now.
So the harbor that the Riverfolk had built for the use of all the houses equally in an effort to reunite them post-war has been co-opted by former colonizers.
Great.
Sounds right.
Perfect. Briefly, let's jump back because did we talk about your new character, Viditia?
No, we didn't.
Let's do that real quick, and then we'll get to the rest of
Yeah.
the other two houses.
Yeah. So, in light of so the lifestyle of the sages are changing rapidly as we kind of found a new home and a central place for us. And similarly, we our house and our religion kind of have two separate balancing powers and political like leanings, as well as like religious and spiritual leanings that keep us in balance, and that's slowly being unified in this new state because now we have a central location that's trying to become a thing.
Right.
My character's name is Shura, Shoora. She uses she/her pronouns. Shura is a Bogatyr, which is the warrior class, which I mentioned before. So Shura's whole thing is that she is a practicer, not like a rishi. Like Mithra was like a huge person, like big in her side of the faith, but like our faith, for a reminder for the audience, is called the Agni Kosha, which is literally like Agni being fire and Kosha being the body, the shell. And so Shura is a practitioner of the Kosha, somebody who practices and perfects their body and their shell, like the living for the body that we have now, instead to contain and nurture the flame within, instead of the other way around, which is to love the flame and burn it up and live as fast as you can. So it's a whole thing. So Shura's thing is that she is a warrior. And she currently is she kind of like lives between Bangaram and the major city. So her things are, I forgot that I have like a character sheet that I could just talk about. I'm kind of a little like, I didn't write down her looks basically, but because there's just specific things, but I know she's like, she keeps her hair short, but she has like okay, I imagine that the warriors of the Sages of Cinder kind of look and dress like kuchipudi dancers, which is if you don't know about kuchipudi, it is one of the 8, I think, traditional dances of India, specifically coming from the Andhra Pradesh region, which is where my family is from. Kuchipudi dancing is really wonderfully expressive. It's very similar to like, storytelling through the face and the hands and things like that. And you have like very expressive movements, and also you have like bells on your ankles and stuff like that. It's pretty famous on Yeah. So that's what I think. I think she kind of like, so when she's all like strapped up and ready to fight, she kind of dresses like a kuchipudi dancer, but like maybe a little bit more armored. And normally it would probably be a little less extravagant than that, but that's kind of what she looks like. She's probably not as makeup and stuff like that. Made up. Swetha's in chat. Swetha is also a Telugu person. He probably knows a little bit about this. But yeah, so I think like that's kind of like her aesthetic. And also, this is an important thing. As somebody who has dedicated her life and herself to the Kosha, Shura has modified, like the body has evolved to match the spiritual needs that it has been given, and so her skin is like a bronze, like is literally kind of bronze.
Oh fuck.
It's not like, I mean, like her normal body isn't like metallic, but it definitely has like a deeper shine to it and like a thing. And she also has a second pair of arms, as her body has kind of evolved into protecting itself, and those arms are 100% like made of bronze. Like they shift and move like skin, but
And what role is Shura taking on for this age?
Shuda is a leader.
All right, so mark that. You are placed in command of your house's warriors. Say who you've been tasked to defeat. I will say where they are and what stands in your way.
So another big thing that happened last age is Mithra, my old character, was an outsider, a rogue, an exile from the house. And a big thing that happened later on was Mithra was really worried that the house is just following the Arbiter's law and feels like what they are doing, adopting these gates, is maybe not a good thing.
Right.
And
So-
and in doing so, throughout the decade, Mithra has completely become basically an enemy of the state towards the sages.
Arch heretic.
Yes, exactly. And so the sages and the various rishis are like, Shuda, we're gonna need you to maybe go and take care of Mithra, find her, and end the heresy that he is spreading.
I love it.
mhm.
So they are wandering the land. I think that's one of the big problems is that she's hard to pin down in any one place. I think she maybe moves faster than he should be able to.
Mhm.
I think Mithra is seen one day, in the cities of the south, and then a week or so later is reported to be in the east.
Yeah.
Things like that. And so I think the big obstacle is that they travel with the speed of flames.
Yeah.
So,
I love that. That's perfect. I like that a lot. So Shuda is currently, I guess I'm not entirely sure where they are exactly. Probably still in like Bungaram, or I need to remember the name.
but
of it.
your objective for this age is to find and
Yeah.
kill an old character, which is great. I gotta love that.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh,
very
thank
good.
you.
And you chose this. You did this to yourself.
Oh yeah.
On that, real quick, talk about your moves, and then let's.
Oh yes, the moves are pretty simple. I have against countless enemies, no matter the odds. You can trust in your skill. You can trust in your skill with arms. Your melee, your melee weapons always have the cleave tag on top of anything else, and you never suffer disadvantage from being outnumbered.
Mhm.
I thought this was fun with the idea that dancing is that like fighting is much like dancing. Also, her weapon is an incense sensor. But it's like but it's much like a flail, like a chain whip, like a
Nice sensor.
The spiked
yeah.
chain, but better.
uh-huh.
This is very good. So it's like constantly like and I imagine full of incense, right? So like when
Oh
you go
yeah,
into battle,
it's got a flame in it.
So you're dancing and like leaving sparks and trails of incense.
It's like a whole thing, yeah.
Ugh, okay.
And
real
then
quick,
the other,
Yeah.
oh
what's-
yeah.
What's your other move?
My other move is Simon dance battle.
This is flashbacks to my rave days.
We doing some K-pop dances now.
Just
my other
kill
move is-
someone with poi.
Jesus.
My other move is carry the weight. When the need is dire, you can call on deep reserves of strength. When you attempt a
Ooh.
heroic feat of strength, roll plus might. And if I hit, I can lift something as big as a horse, just enough, and just for long enough to do what you need. And then on 10 plus, I can either put what you're carrying down with no harm to yourself, or I can hurl it. Causing great harm to it and whatever. So
You could throw a dinosaur.
This is very good.
I can throw a dinosaur.
A horse-sized dinosaur, not like a giant. I'm
There are
just-
horse-sized dinosaurs.
Speaking of horse-sized dinosaurs, Chimali.
As long as it's not a 2 wolf-wide dinosaur, I think we're okay.
Oh, yeah, how many wolves wide can I throw?
Let's talk about the forgers of the unbroken bonds in this age.
I still got to pay my dues.
Oh yeah, pay your dues. Roll.
I got some lawyering to do here, real quick, with this phrasing.
Roll your dice and see how effed you are.
Hang on. So, how did I manage my land? Technically, the Riverfolk managed our land pretty well because hang it. This is my time.
God.
This is my time on the podium.
Kevin
Okay.
has the talking stick.
All right.
We got the forgers to build the irrigation system up the.
Okay.
Our land.
I'll give.
I just did that out of the kindness of my heart.
I'll allow it.
Technically, the forest was not our land yet.
I think here, though, we adhere to the spirit of the law. How did you treat the spirits?
Technically, we did some good for the spirits. We released our cousin, who was being manipulated by the colonizers, and we destroyed the temple.
A personal connection, but more than that, I would say you use them as tools.
That is absolutely true.
In order to liberate one of their temples dedicated to them.
Yeah, but you specifically tapped the spirit, your surplus of attunement, to go to battle and fight with like.
What is more personal than going to battle together? JR.
Regardless of intent.
I'm gonna say there's a -1 there.
Fuck. And then technically our house came together at the end. We found a common enemy, which was everybody.
So that sounds like you're rolling with a -1.
Oh,
Trying to model you and your way out of this.
Fuck.
no. Hold on. Article 3, Section 2.
I almost had it.
Point of order.
You almost had it.
Objection.
Roll them. Let's see what happens. My action.
Oh.
Consequences?
Fuck. Yeah.
What you got?
On a 6-, pick 2.
Ritual from your traditions. I don't think you have any. So you can't add a new condition to any of them. So you either your land withers, spirits haunt you, or you must commit to overthrowing the arbiter.
Is
Yeah.
that a question?
Yeah. It's just a question of the other one.
You can't
Kellen,
put
we
2
not
insurrections on the
burn down
table.
people's spiritual centers.
You know what? Fuck the spirits.
This
Just
is
fuck
how
your
you
god.
you are.
F them kids.
Same thing as before. Y'all say I'm invading the forest. You know what? Fine, we'll invade the forest. Y'all say I'm abusing the spirits. Fine, we'll abuse the spirits.
You made me a conservative.
Are you committing to overthrowing the arbiters?
Yes.
Okay. So that seals the deal for our project for the age, which we'll get to. But for now, let's go back
Oh,
to
fun.
Well, this project is gonna fucking flop. Oh, I'm excited for that.
for now, let's talk to the forgers of Unbroken Bonds.
Okay. Oh boy. What is up with us? What do I do first?
What's up with you? Tell me about your character first, and then we'll get to the other stuff.
Cool. So Chimali is still gonna be my character, but she has aged 10 years. She used to be about 19. Now she's like 29, and she is now a lore master because she has gotten more in touch with the land and with the spirits, especially because she has a spirit living inside of her head now. Her ancestor, who she went back and got out of the time travel illusion world that we went through, guided by.
It was not a time travel. It was a spirit.
It wasn't really time travel. Yeah,
It was
it was just they were.
spirit world, an encroachment of the immaterial realm onto the material.
Right.
So, you are now the lore master.
Yep.
Very cool.
So I have a couple of cool new things
Yeah.
from that. I now have. Whoops! I erased those when I put them.
Has
there
your
we
look
go.
changed at all?
I think it's probably pretty similar.
Okay.
I guess we could say I have a wise face now more than I did before.
And,
And
Did Shimali like dye a story? Get like really...
speaking of her, well, she's still got the one fire eye,
Oh, fuck yeah, right.
like you do, and I think it sort of changes which eye it is.
I think so. That makes sense. And you are taking on the champion role. Is that correct?
Yes.
So mark that when you are sent to understand a mystery, a place, or a creature. Say 3 possibilities that you suspect for the truth, and I will say which one you can rule out. So,
Sweet.
what are you trying to understand?
So if we can zip over to our map,
Let's zip over to the map.
the mystery that I'm trying to understand is the new thing that I introduced as a player for the changing of the age,
Ooh.
which is that our fallen meteor that cratered in here so long ago has started to emit rainbow light at night in kind of like an aurora-y way where it like washes up to the sky weirdly. And I think that Shivali is going to go and try and check that out and see what's going on with it. So I gotta get 3 theories for what that is, huh?
Ooh.
Nice.
So I think theory number 1, yes, theory, it's a rave. Theory number 1 is that it is a rainbow serpent, which is like an ancient subspecies of
Right.
the river serpents.
Oh,
Okay.
Theory number 2,
damn.
when the meteor fell, it hit a rainbow and pulled it down into the ocean with it, and it's
Ooh.
just sunk under there the whole time.
Also
Oh,
very good.
I only came up with 2 good ones. Oh no. Theory
You gotta-
number 3 is that no, it can't be that the meteor is an alien spaceship. That's too dumb.
foot
Middle
leg.
fantasy. Middle fantasy.
Middle fantasy.
Dinosaurs, crab
Mid-
necks, spirits, elementals.
Too high
Fine.
fantasy.
Look at the aliens. No.
Okay. No wait.
Anyway, we already had aliens.
We already had him.
That was a different game.
Oh yeah,
Are you
we
saying we can't have Powerline again?
Oh.
Is
Oh,
the
number
so
3
Powerline
is
crashed in
Powerline.
the
The
ocean.
power line crash.
Powerline's in the ocean.
Clearly, Powerline is the
Playing a
alien.
concert.
It's always
This
been
age we have
power
to see eye to eye.
Oh my god.
So what is your third rumor?
I think my third rumor is that it is it's like an elemental confluence because it's got like different colors.
Oh,
So I think that it is just a nexus of whirling maelstroming elemental energy down there.
I will tell you which one of those you can eliminate, and it is that last one. It is as far as you can tell, because Chumali has been very close to what the power of the land feels like. It's
Mhm.
definitely not that light does not pulse with that weird immaterial stuff that you've learned to manipulate.
Cool.
You've taught your house how to manipulate the stuff of spirits to enhance construction. So
Mhm.
you know what that ain't.
That's
So
good.
Be one of those other 2.
All right, sweet. That's very exciting. And I think her desire for going there is that when back in the day when she laid her hand on the gate and like connected with the land and could feel the horrible like pins of the marble pillars that the Empire drove into the land to wound it. I think that the Forgers have tried to like destroy those over the last decade and haven't been able to. So I think that she is hoping that whatever is down there is something she can use to, for once and for all, end this wound to the land.
And what moves did you pick up?
I have picked up Discern Significance, when I unearth forgotten lore, I can always ask one additional question, and I can also pick from a couple of new questions about who knows about things and having visions about it and stuff.
Ooh, very cool.
And then I'm trying to pick between Ancient Magic Uncovered and Sage Advice. There's sort of the loner skill and the being with friends skill.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pick Sage Advice, I think, because that sounds
Good.
nicer.
When an ally calls for aid, you can always respond by offering advice. So Chimali, perhaps because of the spirit inhabiting her, perhaps the two of them always got opinions.
We got opinions on everything. Yeah. If one of us doesn't, the other one does, for sure.
Oh God, you like calling like a handyman to come in and work, like fix a house project. Like, have you thought about is the shelf level? Have you thought about using a laser level?
Oh my god.
Just having dad flashbacks.
Just one dad visiting another dad. How's this deck?
So that's Chimali. And what about the house? What about the Forgers of Unbroken Bonds, which use the church, or not the church, which use the Forgers of the Marbled City playbook?
Mm-hmm.
So, what have they been up to this age?
They have been, I guess, like a lot of the other houses, they've been sort of centralizing and consolidating a lot of their power, and they have been rebuilding Skyfire Peak after, the volcano that it's built around erupted. They thought, let's just do that again and stay here. So they have.
Like,
They've been rebuilding the city, and they have, like Chimali, some of the people have integrated with their spiritual ancestors, who have also moved out into the city. Similarly to the Woven, but like even more so, where there's more people who are. I think they're two souled, where you just have an ancestor riding along in you, and I think they will tend to use I think Chimali is now going to be using she/they pronouns because she is they, as in like plural.
Right.
Yes, truly an intergenerational living situation for sure. And the architecture of the city has also gotten altered a lot as a result of that, especially in the rebuilding. They've just rediscovered this ancient architecture technique and stuff too.
I mean, yeah, Chimali taught that to the house, so that's there. I think y'all have been growing rapidly, and the Forgers are kind of very, very quickly expanding and building things. Did your lifestyle, doctrine, or customs change?
It did, because our lifestyle is now the Jeweled City. When the game zooms in on Skyfire Peak, I describe the festival taking place there and pick a stat that characters who participate get fleeting advantage with.
So there's always a party.
There's always a party.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, it's a party city now. Just party with all your ghost ancestors all the time.
Any
Spirit Halloween
to your doctrine? I hope not, because I love beauty for all the world to see.
No, yeah, that's my favorite. We're keeping that forever.
Great. And then your customs?
I don't think any of our customs have changed.
Start thinking about a new one. Let's.
Oh yeah, right.
Pay your dues. I'm
Yes.
going through this. It seems like you tended and cared for your land. It did erupt, but it feels like you kind of spent the last part of our season, our age, taking care of that. You definitely formed some personal connections, it sounds like.
Very much so.
+2. Then I guess you kind of did rediscover old customs in the way that your house, the spirits manipulate this stuff. So
I inadvertently, amazingly metagamed this move.
And I've already rolled before we started. Yes?
I did, and then I, rolling with a +3, got a 10, so I have a 13.
And then you added, we already talked about what you added to the map, so I think that's everything from them. What did you pick from successfully completing the construction project?
Yeah, so I think that the Forgers took advantage of the construction to facilitate trade and gain in prosperity. So they have both gotten surplus trade, which is dispersed, and they have gained a new asset. In addition to the regal and meditative clear thought crowns, they now have expertise in creating spirit home hammers, which are
Ooh.
melee, elegant, and weird.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
very cool.
So I think this is their solution to when they've been integrating in the fire spirits with society and sort of building this. The way I'm conceptualizing the city a little bit is it's kind of like what is it? Bezel and Ulcoma in The City and the City by China Miéville, where it's like two cities that are sort of interwoven with each other. So when you're going through Skyfire Peak, like some of the buildings will just be like for spirits and will be semi-corporeal, and then sometimes you'll have, you know, the ones that with humans in them and people going in and out of all of them. And then the spirit home hammers are for like the really, really ancient ancestors who are like 99% fire elemental and 1% human
Yeah.
at this point.
Because last time, for those who are joining us, we established that the more you are a spirit of the land, the more you're kind of alien and a part of it. You take the arbiters already kind of take the longer view of things, right? They might create strife now so that in 50 years the land will avoid a disaster, that sort of a thing, which is, you know. So you're dealing with the spirits who don't really know what it's like to be a people and putting them in hammers.
Yeah, we're putting them in hammers.
Arbiters hate her.
I think they think
Learn this one weird trick.
Arbiters hate her because of this one weird trick.
that's great. Well, they think they're doing good by the spirits because as the spirits of foragers, obviously they still want to help make things.
Oh no, absolutely.
So they are getting to live out their dreams of hitting a piece of metal a bunch of times until it goes into a nicer shape.
Well, and I like that this kind of is like a sort of a redemptive version of what the foragers did for the Empire, which was bind spirits into weapons of war.
Yup.
For, you know, against their will. Like, actually, we're kind of working with you now to do the thing we know how to do, but it's still a thing you learned from the Empire. So I think the Arbiters have some opinions.
That's very fair.
But that's great. That's really cool stuff. And finally, we have the Ashes of Prithvi, and who is now an unbaby.
Yeah, they're less baby now.
I am no longer baby. I want power.
They have
Baby
Benjamin
and unbaby.
buttoned out of babyhood.
Oh God.
So real quick, you've changed playbooks for Veeb, but are bringing her back.
Yeah, Veeb is still around, but she is no longer an 11-year-old child. But there
She can
are...
drink legally now.
The
She
21-year-old.
can. She's 21. Although,
Oh my God.
although I'd like to have seen who would have tried to stop her previously.
She definitely did, right?
So what
Veep
playbook
just
did you
stares
pick up?
at you while she drinks.
13 cracks open a beer, so he goes, "Oh, excuse me, can I see it?" Just takes out a fucking like knife.
She just
Like-
stares at them. She
I
shotguns
killed
it.
men before.
That's true. She
That
has.
is true. That is canonical.
You think you're better than a crab mech? A crab mech couldn't fucking kill me.
Arya Stark ain't got shit on this.
True. What playbook did you pick to celebrate the new unbaby?
So she has become the lore master, which is
Excellent.
a surprise to both her and me. That is.
What role are you taking on for the age?
I think she's definitely. I believe she's out of the leadership role actually.
Right.
So I was looking at either champion or rogue.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna go. I'm gonna go with champion. That makes.
I think that makes a lot of sense
Makes
given
sense.
what's happening. So, what mystery are you trying to understand right now?
I think she's trying to unearth what she learned in her vision about what the land was like before and the ebb and flow,
very cool.
and she's been weaving that into how the ashes kind of are establishing themselves. They kind of for a while were scrambling a little bit before Veep was in power, I guess. They were scrambling a little bit to just kind of go back to what they were, which I've decided was the Prithvi Tattvan.
Ooh.
So that's kind of who they were before, and they were trying to just reestablish those things, kind of like, you know, a bunch of teens who all of a sudden all the parents are gone. It's just like, let's just do what we were doing before, because I don't know, all the adults are gone.
Yeah.
This is scary.
Yeah.
um,
It's like after you've had nothing but marshmallows and frosted flakes for 3 days, you're like, oh wait a minute.
yeah.
The boxcar children is actually kind of creepy. We got to feed ourselves.
like kids at a
Turns
dorm.
out Camp Nowhere is not a way to live.
Oh my god.
90s cuts,
Oh lord.
My God.
which is what I know we're all here for.
Those 90s
No, I
cartoons,
like that a
nice.
lot. So you're trying to understand the place, right? The land. Is there a particular
Yeah.
place like on the map that you're focusing on?
Let's see.
It's okay if the answer is no. Like we can figure that out later too. Like
I think what makes sense is Veep going or trying to actually connect to that ancient city. I feel like
Oh, yeah. this one over here.
Yeah, let me transition real quick.
Here, let's. Rue, also our producer, is spinning many plates at once and doing a fantastic job of it. I mean, you saw how quickly she dealt with Kevin's utter chaos.
Shut that down.
Kevin
So
or Win? There's a difference here. We may share a name, but
Chaos when you entered. Wins chaos. We'll see in a minute. So this
okay.
city is what you've sent to understand. What do you
Yeah.
suspect is true about it?
Ooh. I think the truth is that it was ours before, or that that's where our civilization kind of came from and started.
That's where your civilization came from. Yeah. So, what are 3 possibilities around that? I have an idea for one of them. If you
Yeah, go for it, because I'm
So-
still thinking.
So one of them could be kind of related to the vision. Like you, when you had that vision of the past, you remembered seeing a village, like a civilization that was all under the water. That could be one of the theories.
I think another idea is that there's a way to connect
Mm-hmm.
the kelp forest to this city.
Ooh,
Mm.
okay, very cool.
Yeah.
And then what's one more? It Could be related to like the magic of the land. It could be related maybe to like where the ashes came from before. Like I know you're looking for a connection back to your past.
Yeah. I think it has to do with that meteor.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Ooh, yeah, totally.
I think maybe something the like ancient ashes did drew the meteor here.
Ooh,
That
okay.
it was like partially due to something that they did that the meteor
Yeah.
came.
Great. I mean, now I can tell you which possibility you rule out, which was the one I pitched. This is not the place of division, you know, because you're like, oh wait a minute, yeah, that's over by the kelp forest. Because I like both of. I don't know which one of those ideas is true, but I like both of those way better. So toss that one out and let's go. Cool. And then what moves do you have as Lore Master Veeb?
Yeah, definitely think ancient magic uncovered makes a ton of sense.
That's Veeb to the core.
Yeah, when you rest in the wilderness outside modern civilization, you spend 1 insight to dream of ancient lore and gain 1 vision. She kind of already is doing that, so that makes a lot of sense.
Totally.
And I think I'm gonna go with discern significance. I was thinking of sage advice, but I think she can just be an advisor narratively.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Discern significance makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Cool. And then what about the ashes? So we talked a little bit about how they're kind of going back to doing what they've been doing. What let's walk through paying your debts. You definitely tended your land, right? Or maybe
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, I think the majority of the house was doing that. That besides Veeb just being like running around dealing with all these
Yeah, for sure.
literal fires to put out.
And,
The house
how did
was
you treat this?
beautiful. Sorry, what was that?
How would you say you treated the spirits?
Ooh. I guess that would be more Veeb's connection, because I guess everyone else was just kind of neutrally there doing like the normal rituals. But yeah, I think what were the 2 choices? They treated them.
Yeah, you sought out their company and formed personal connections, or
Yeah.
feared them and used them as tools.
Definitely think she sought out their company. I mean, she was just like, "This is my dad now."
Oh, big last but not least, would you rediscover old customs or find new ones, or did you spurn your community and descend into infightings?
Definitely think they found new customs. So they're trying to break away from some of their older customs. I was trying to like draw from like what are teens like in general. I felt like an old lady. What are the teens like? But I'm
With that
trying
in
to,
mind,
yeah, with that in mind, I think they kind of changed their society so that they're constantly in flux. Like they allow themselves to adapt pretty often, so they're not always, they'll have like core traditions, but if people in their group change them slightly, there's not really that much of a worry. Kind of like the idea of, kids trends are
Right.
constantly changing, so they don't have really, it's like now a part of their core tenet that they should be constantly changing. Like they should be moving with the wind and adapting from other cultures. Like there's people who are drawing from the Empire, and they're like, just because the Empire oppressed us doesn't mean that we shouldn't take things that are useful to us from them.
Cool.
So
Go ahead and roll paying your debts.
yeah,
It sounds like a +3 there.
heck yeah. I also
So let's-
roll with advantage. I don't know what that means.
That means you roll 3 dice and pick the highest 2.
Ooh, okay.
So just roll 3d6 plus 3, and then we'll kind of parse it out from there.
Cool.
Uh,
Oh, wait, I messed it up.
Let's roll one more d6.
Yeah.
Yeah, either
Oh.
you're great. Either way, you're fine.
I will
succeed
take
no matter
those
what.
2 6s.
Nice.
You talked about the broad story of your family through the age. Have your doctrine, lifestyle, or customs changed at all?
Yeah, let me see. I think the doctrine will change to
Yeah.
know yourself to unleash true potential.
Ooh, I like that. That's very cool. So
Yeah.
you can use surplus morale as if it was any other intangible surplus, like attunement, leadership, peace, or prestige, and your characters always benefit from the meditative tag. So that's extremely good. Cool. And what did you add to the map? Or what are you adding to the map?
Yeah, I'm trying to think, because I don't know if this would be an addition or not, but the Ashes want to take over that expensive Imperial temple.
Oh, ooh.
Just draw a bunch of little kids hanging off the sides of it.
they're
I think
they're
you
just
can-
like, this is
you can
theirs
call
now.
that-
Is that occupied right now?
I think
It
it's just
is.
been, hasn't it just been
No,
empty?
yeah.
It
Like-
had been up until the Keepers of the Tome replaced one of y'all in our last.
Right.
Oh, that's right.
Hey, hold up.
And they live in the Imperial Temple now. They've taken up residence there.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think they replaced us for the second time
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh, I forgot.
last age.
Yeah. I think we also got replaced twice. There's a lot of replacing.
So there's that faction which will kind of meet over the course of play. But yeah, I think if you want to add something like that, I mean, there are probably more temples. Like
Mhm.
the Imperial construction was vast. Like they changed the shape of the land. They put marble pillars into the ley lines to kind of like stop the flow of geomantic power and all that stuff, all that nonsense. If you believe in it, which they do, you guys are like, nah, it's just the land. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Or actually, what they could add is maybe like a pathway from
Ooh,
here to there that like they're in
yeah, I
control
like
of.
that. That's a very good opportunity.
Yeah.
Sweet. And then, what did you pick for helping to finish the construction? So there were a bunch of boons available to y'all.
Oh yeah. I chose. Let me see what it's called.
Mhm.
You seize the new opportunities for profit granted by the construction. Gain surplus,
Ooh.
trade, and an asset option.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
Well,
I think the pathway makes sense as like the
Totally.
profit they
That
gained.
represents that. Yeah, that's a route for trade.
Yeah.
So with all that stuff in mind, I think we're going to take a quick break. We had a lot of world building to get through. We're going to be back in like 5 to 10 minutes. We're going to run a brief 30-second ad, this time for real. So please come back. Join us again in like 5 to 10 minutes. We're going to get to Age 2 of Haven, a land reclaimed. Thank you so much, everyone. Grab a drink, grab a snack, have a bio break if you need it. And we'll see you soon. That's why I said that Link to the Past is the worst Zelda game. We all know the best one.
Get out!
Yeah.
Oh, I'm the arbiter now.
I'm doing the insurrection.
Mom
But
said
I-
it's my turn to overthrow the Arbiter.
Welcome back folks, to Haven, a land reclaimed, our actual play of Legacy Free from the Yoke, from the Yoke, not Yolk, by Minerva McGenda and Fyodor Kasatkin. We are here at the Turning of the Ages. We have just done that, so we start by holding court. So everyone, now that we're back from break, let's hold court. Everyone should be rolling plus favor to see how the Arbiter is doing this season. Also, since you didn't give the Arbiters back their Jade and instead gave it to everyone else, you roll with disadvantage, Riven Folk.
I don't feel like that's how that goes.
We're at the me reaping part of this.
The consequence
What does
cycle.
that mean?
Let's see. At the beginning. Oh, favor. Right.
Is this our favor from last age?
Yeah, your favor holds over.
Okay.
I got a 9.
You got a 9.
So 1
Excellent.
plus a 5 plus a 3.
All right.
Oh, fuck yeah. It's an 11.
Great.
Hang on, what the fuck does this mean?
What did you roll? Really bad? Or really...
Is it
Oh,
doubles?
no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Alright.
Plus 1.
Plus one.
What?
That's a 6.
So it's a 6.
I got a 5.
Technically, you could call for 8 if you wanted.
Oh.
Are you
Oh,
going
you
to call for 8 on this
Hold
roll?
court.
Wait.
Just
Wait,
be like,
I'll
"God,
call
they're
for
cool."
8.
Yeah, I could
You
Yeah.
can't
I mean,
call. Oh wait, I
he's
guess you
watching
can't
for
call
you.
from aid. That's a character move.
Ah,
Nope.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
sadness.
Someone could.
Well, it's
someone
fine
could-
because we're below their notice. They don't care
Yeah,
about us.
they don't care about you. So
Get me
another
secret stuff.
another faction is taking your place at court. I'm gonna have to keep. No, well, I mean, it makes sense that it would just be the. I think it's the Changers of Coin taking up 2 spots now.
Oh
'Cause
damn!
they sit
Oh,
in
we
the
really
Arbiter's
gotta-
right hand,
Gotta stop those.
so to speak.
Yeah.
Even though the Arbiters are like the collective will of everyone, I think the Changers of Coin have been over the last 10 years expanding their influence not in the world, but rather within the Council of the Arbiters.
They got all those coins to change.
More of their oracles sit among the Council of Arbiters now. So that's what we'll go with. All right. Anyone else get a 6? How did the Riverfolk do?
We rolled a 5, and a 6.
Oh my god.
We rolled a fucking 10.
Oh,
How?
okay.
We are still in favor.
God damn it.
3 for
Arbiters love
3.
it.
Guilt. It's fucking guilt. The arbiters are like, God. Don't keep them around. It's like some other fucking arbiters like they burned them. They buried a gate. No, but
We
like
killed their god. Like we made them kill their god. Is
I feel bad.
If I can have some say in this, I think like maybe the Riverfolk did have some like small victories against the law and proved that like
Oh,
their
yeah.
actions, while severe, are not for nothing.
I like that. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think you've been given you're at a 10 plus. You're given access to a trusted part of the regime. You are so which is
Hey.
interesting because you put the counter-insurrection project into place and you committed to overthrowing them.
Hey, Arbiter,
so-
you got some more of that jade that we didn't get back?
So, we'll it's gonna be an interesting one.
fuck.
Uh,
Oh my
He's holding a
goodness.
knife behind your back, like, thank you for the award.
okay,
We like it.
for counter-insurrection, the land is turned upon itself. Brother fights brother. Armies march through pastures and villages, and strange plagues sweep through the populace. This will only end with the death of the rebels or the arbiter.
Oh,
Is that where we are? Is that what we want to do?
Mitra, you've really escalated this situation.
oh, hey.
Before we go forward, like, is that what we want to do for this next age?
That
Are
sounds
y'all
like
interested in
a
that?
lot. I liked our last age when it was nice.
So that sounds like 2 yeses so far.
It's
Uh,
really intense. So when you say it, one or the other, so it means like if it fills, then JR is overthrown, and if it
No, so if you
That
If
do
it fills the
if it
arbiters,
fills, the arbiter deals
If it
with
feels,
the
I die. The
You
Riverfolk die.
arbiter. No, the GM chooses how the arbiter deals with the rebellious house, and the insurrection is quashed. If it fails, the house most closely tied to the rebellion becomes the new arbiter.
Watch. The Arbiter's gonna win. The Arbiter's gonna spare the Riverfolk. The Riverfolk
And
are
you're
still
gonna
gonna be in favor.
I mean, I'm down with this. So I think before you rebelled, that they gave you a surplus of recruits.
I think I'm once again flush with resources.
Well,
Yeah.
fair.
feels wrong.
It does feel wrong, but you know what? I'm here for it. I love it when the rules mean that something kind of ridiculous has to happen. So let's go with that. I think that does kind of color things a little bit. So we'll get to that in a minute. What are your needs right now?
Fish, silk, and attunement.
Excellent. Very cool. Well, while you figure out that, the Arbiter wanted you to train these recruits up to help assist with a transformation, but then you start a rebellion, and we'll get to that in a minute. Shochi, how did the Woven do? Oh, under notice, we just did that. Shura, how about the Sages of Cinder?
The Sages of Cinder did great. We rolled a 10. No, we rolled an 11 total. Real quick,
Excellent.
just to make sure I have everything. It is mood is surpluses minus needs, right?
Yes, surplus is minus needs.
All right. Okay.
No, yeah.
And-
I. That's, yeah.
All right, so that's a 0 for me. So that doesn't change anything. Okay. Yeah, we rolled a 10. Or no, we rolled an 11. So we're doing great.
All right, so the Arbiters, as soon as the Riverfolk start their uprising, the Arbiters start give you a surplus instead. They give you a surplus of leadership. They want you to deal with the training up their commanders, and they want you to be in charge of helping to quash the rebellion.
Oh. Surplus of leadership?
Surplus leadership.
Is that located anywhere specifically?
You get to tell me where that's located. And Veeb, how did the Ashes of Prithvi do?
Oh, we rolled a 5.
Excellent. So now the changers of coin have supplanted 3 different factions.
Oof.
What about those Tusklords?
Or the Dino Riders, maybe.
The Dino Riders might be good. I agree. I think they'd be a great help here. It would be nice. They've already
Dinosaurs?
replaced the Ashes once. So
So like those fucking
or no, they replaced the
dinosaurs.
Woven once. I'm sorry, they replaced the Woven. So they're just still doing that. All right, great. This is good. So on a 7 and 9, Forgers, you they want you to also they want you to deal with a threat. Forgers, you are being tasked to obtain the crab mech for the Arbiters.
Oh,
Oh,
we need to get it from our good friends, the Riverfolk.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Nice, fun.
Remember when I said I kind of wanted to play into like being nice and
Yeah,
friendly?
That was for about 8 minutes.
You were the one who said, "Oh, insurrection."
No, I didn't. So I had 3 choices.
You could have picked to get needs crops.
Listen, all I'm
But
saying.
you're like, oh well, I guess I have to lead an insurrection. My hands are tied. There's not another option I can.
Hang on. Like I would like to talk about this as above table, like at a player level
yeah.
for a moment,
Yeah.
because I do want to have like more. Yes, having like that inner house conflict is very interesting. Like I also don't want it to be just that. I would like some moments of like the Riverfolk approach your house and be like, you know what? No, like maybe you should join us against the Arbiters. The Arbiters don't have the best interests of the whole set.
Yeah, I mean,
and is everybody like open to those kinds of scenes? You don't necessarily need to be turned over, but like playing out those kinds of scenes, I'm interested in.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I like
how
that,
the
yeah.
Ashes think.
It's
I don't
not
want it to be like I come to you reaching out an olive branch and then you just come at me with a sword.
right.
You
It's not a
stab
total
Alright.
field turn where you just suck forever and then everyone hates you.
Mm-hmm.
so that's where we are. That's what you've been assigned to do by the Arbiter. You don't have to do what they want. It has consequences, but you know, everything in life does. So let us say, what is the flashpoint that starts this civil war as we kind of go through the Arbiter project? What is the moment where this kind of becomes a rebellion?
Is there a flashpoint list like there was before for the?
There is.
Setting?
I mean, we can go back through the flashpoints of this, but no, I think it's like, what is the moment where the rebellion happens? What does that look like? Where it's like, nope, fuck the Arbiters. We're overthrowing this land. We're raising the banners of war.
You know what it is? I think going as there is this collective of holding court, like
Mhm.
literally holding court, and all the representatives of the houses come. a recently sort of appointed representative and captain of the Riverfolk. Ironcloud over. Hang on, the full name was Ironcloud over the Lonely Mountain has
Mhm.
arrived, and for this is a character that the players have met, but the audience has not.
The audience has not.
Yeah.
They are of a very small, slight build. She's a woman, and she's got like a very like at ear level haircut. She comes in wearing like sealskin leathers, and she comes dragging, like as she is known, she's dragging a large ceremonial sword that smokes and is the signature of the sages.
Yep.
Having been taken off the figure now goes by the Grey Knight in a honorable duel.
Oh, the Grey Knight.
Ooh.
The 29-man slayer. Yes.
So,
And-
so she shows up.
She kills one of the cunning folk.
Ooh.
Oh,
There you go.
Oh. Oh.
She comes up and approaches as everybody is expected to like present their weapon and like sort of kneel and swear fealty to this cunning folk, and she just swings that ceremonial sword, uses it what it's for, and beheads this cunning folk.
Lit.
Oh.
Dang.
Damn.
Go into 11 right away. All right. So that's what that moment looked like, and then I think the drums of war sounded. What important faction has taken the side of the rebels?
I have a quick question. Where
Yes.
did this happen? Did I miss that? Like,
It happened during holding court. I think.
oh
maybe
no
it
no no!
happened-
Like where did the behead? Like what was the location that you?
I wouldn't say that the
go to
gathering
that.
place of rulers, right?
Okay.
you just like walked right into like one of their meetings and just.
Okay.
Just like under the whole guise, like, yes, we are going to swear fealty. Yes, we are continuing to uphold the Arbiter's message.
Yeah.
While we do disagree, but no, we really disagree.
Oh.
We don't like
Excellent. So which important faction has taken the side of the rebels?
What if
Is
it's
this?
It. Oh.
Uh, I think. Now I leave it up to y'all, but I think it might be the Thunderlords.
that would be sick.
Would
Well,
any
that's
of them?
interesting
Would
'cause
any
they
of
just
them
took
use
my
that?
position at court.
Yeah, that's true. They did.
Ooh.
I wonder if it's not the Woven.
Oh, it might be. Yeah.
I think it might be much more interesting to have a player character thing.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Because like we keep either being passed over for like assistance, or we're being ignored or whatever. Like we pay our dues, and like some of it could be like, oh well, the arbiters don't need us right now, but also it reads
Right.
like, well, they don't care about us.
Right.
We already didn't trust them after the results of the ritual to
Yeah, let's
banish the empire. So
do
maybe
that.
like it's not necessarily, it could be Shochi and her faction, but it could also be like Tizpal
Right.
is also like, get them out of here.
Yeah. I mean,
No,
this could be the one thing
I
that they
agree.
agree on, like, of many things that they don't.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that image of that like conversation of being like, let's get out of here. You know, let's throw in with the river folk. This is what we do is support each other. So yeah, all right, I'm into that.
Maybe the Riverfolk approached the Woven before this happened, and like the Woven knew it was going to happen.
Oh, like,
Ooh.
hey, we know that we did this thing with the Hua way back.
And like,
Oh.
no, look
something's
at
gonna
look
go
at the
down. We
Arbiters.
need you to back
The
us.
Arbiters value the land and these gates more than the people, and like knowing to kind of
Who,
plug on that
who
string.
used them, right? Yeah.
Ooh, I like that. Who has already been executed by the arbiter?
Oh. Executed.
Of the Riverfolk.
In general,
In
right?
general,
Like,
okay.
this could be anyone. Who have they executed?
Mhm. Can I throw a suggestion? It's kind of a drastic one though.
Throw it.
What if like, so they're like, well, we can't touch the Riverfolk because they're like no longer in court with us, but maybe they or like the Woven are clearly a part of this, or like they're kind of thinking about that, and that could be maybe how they open up, like they execute Tispal or something, and like open that seat up for you.
Whoa.
That's why I say it's drastic. So I'm like, I'm okay if that's not at all the direction you want to go, but
No, I'm intrigued. I don't know if it's more fun to have Tispal as like a counterpoint,
yeah, exactly.
but it could be like somebody within the Woven who like takes the fall for it. Like maybe they find like a seditious group somewhere that's like, oh, the Changers of Coin are still very much in favor with the Arbiter. So we discovered where their like hold was, their like secret fortress last age. So I think it's some of Shochi's Quetzals who went out and were trying to infiltrate the Changers of Coin headquarters. We're just like, oh, we're going in here, we're gonna like murk these guys or do something. They get caught.
Yeah, so they succeeded, right? I think you get a messenger Archaeopteryx back that's like, we have a report, we cannot trust this to any possibility of being intercepted. Please make an emergency meeting, and then they were publicly executed before they could deliver the info.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I love that. This is very good. Cool. All right. So who's trying? Okay, yeah. Who's trying to profit off the conflict? Besides everyone.
Besides the Changers of Coin.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Maybe it's the Tusk Lords, right? Like,
I think. Yeah, I think it's
like profit being they can move in unopposed.
I think it can be both, right? I think I like that intrigue a lot, and I'm gonna throw in the Hua as well.
I was gonna say maybe the Hua through them, like it as like sort of having a proxy war and like proxy war have influenced the Tusk Lords to get involved here.
That could be very interesting. I like that.
I really like that a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking like maybe the Sages, but I don't think profit is the right word on this. But the Sages have a pretty big, or they're probably going to interact with the Tusslers and the Changers a lot in this age, and that to me is like very juicy.
I mean, you do profit in that if, I mean, Mitra was very against the Arbiter before, but if they don't lose, then the other faction wins. So you profit either way in that the wind changes in your favor.
So as a sort of a kickoff to this super spicy opening right here, increase this project's progress track whenever a house delivers a military surplus to the Arbiter's side of the war front. Recruits, defenses, leadership, weaponry, morale, scouts, spies, transports, that sort of thing. Increase the Doom track, which means the Riverfolk win. Whenever a house changes sides to support the rebels, the Arbiter's agent is killed, a key settlement falls to the rebels, turmoil exceeds control, or hits 10. So both of those can happen. When you get 5 progress, the insurrection is quashed. When you get 5 Doom, the rebellion wins. So that's where we stand. I think we increased the Doom track by 1 because the Woven changed sides.
Yeah.
I think also.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Isn't that part of like the base assumption of the things? Like they haven't changed sides because that's a given that they are going there. That another faction is going to be.
That's right. I suppose that's fair.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's where we are when we kick things off. So, rebellions are happening. I imagine that like the front is kind of all along the rivers. I don't think there's necessarily a key hotspot. I think that the Forgotten Temple is like your fortified base, but I don't think the Arbiters can muster their troops there yet. So what are you all doing? How are the different houses reacting to this?
I've got something.
Go for it.
Real quick. I would like to call in a debt.
Ooh.
That's the name of the move. Sorry, I'm flipping through this book so fucking much today.
when you call in a house, you have influence over, lose your influence, and gain advantage on a move that targets them, take a surplus from them, or get them to back you up, fall into indecision, or protect something important.
Yes, I would like to pull on my influence, or the Riverkin would like to pull on their influence over the sages.
Oh, where'd you get that influence?
Just the starting game, the pregame stuff.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you haven't.
So,
You haven't
I'm
lost
touched.
it yet.
Yeah, I've held
So
on to
you've
that,
lost?
knowing
Yeah.
this shit would happen.
so what are you having them do?
What's happening? And how?
I would like. Hang on.
So you can either gain advantage on a move that targets
Yeah.
them, take a surplus from them, get them to back you up, fall into indecision, or protect something important.
If their favorite
Look
is
at the one
players,
page here.
that's interesting.
Mhm.
Okay.
Hold together. Read the wind. Claim by force. Subterfuge. Call in dead.
So
So,
basically,
what, to
you're
what degree do we sort of interpret get them to back you up, follow to indecision?
I mean, like, I suppose that depends on like what do you want, right? Like, what do you want out of this?
I want them to join the rebellion.
All right, so that feels like a back you up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
And,
they're already kind of in
It's a
indecision, being divided, and yeah, I'm gonna pull influence and try and get the sages on on the side of the rebellion.
So, sages, you can refuse this request. If you do, you must hold together with disadvantage. If they're, I think your favor is above theirs because they're rebelling. So,
Hang on, I don't know about this. My favor is still a 1, regardless of having withdrawn from court.
okay, well, what are the sages' favors like?
Mine's 1.
Also 1. So it's not below. So you just have to hold together. If you refuse, or if you change sides, that's a 1 on the old doom track.
I don't think we change sides.
Ooh.
So you
I
have to hold
think,
together.
Yeah, so I'm gonna hold together.
So roll plus mood real quick. And while you do that, what is that like? What did the sages say?
Yeah. I think the sages are kind of like oh fuck. Oh fuck.
Uh-huh.
That good, huh?
That's a good roll,
Super
right?
good.
My mood's a +0, so
Yeah.
huh. Nothing here says anything about failing, so I guess nothing happened.
Oh, when you fail a roll, I get to make a move as hard as I want.
And I hate you mostly.
Oh, fun.
On any failed roll, I get to make a move as hard as I want.
Yeah, wait, this actually doesn't say anything about
So
I hate you, I mean,
what-
okay.
yeah,
Well,
what
I think most of them
happens
don't have
is-
like a failure state. It's just
So tell me
partial.
what you say, and I'll tell you what happens.
I think the sages are like, we have other things to deal with right now. Basically, it's like, we finally see a little stability on the horizon as we deal with our own issues. The arbiters finally see us in good light, and has allowed us to return back to a place that was once used to destroy us, and now, or used to divide us, and now we can finally unify. I think like that's like the main thing, is like, we're not doing anything rash. Like, are you kidding me? we gotta deal with this shit right now, kind of deal.
Where is Shura?
I think Shura is currently, I think probably. I'm trying to debate whether or not. Well, let's put her in the new city, or at least like traveling between the two or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, in Mahaspasana.
That's good. That's good. So let's go flip to the map real quick.
Yeah. So
As,
Mahaspasana and Bungaram, I think probably. I don't know which one's more interesting. I think let's say she's in the new city. Like
Good.
she's there. Probably grew up. 10 years later, she was probably like a small, like grew up in Bungaram. Like was a child when that was taken over, or when that was given to the sages, and so she's like moved over to the big city now.
Good. Bungaram has been taken over by the Tusk Lords. The envoy that has been sent there, I think, has either won over the hearts and minds of the people there and convinced them to join with them, or they've taken it by force. I think that reports coming out of the area are mixed.
Okay.
But I do believe that Bungaram it now belongs to the Tusk Lords.
Oh shit. Okay.
Should have fucking joined
It's
us.
all happening here.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I love this.
Anti-sages.
With this, I want to know. Is this failure? Sorry.
And I think it's like your
I
taking time, right? The sages are taking time to meet with the river folk and deal with the rebellion, right? Like it's sort of a consequence of not having enough time or preparation to deal with things.
Oh yeah, and I guess like what I was also wondering is, did news roll in before or after the Riverfolk came to ask us? Like, is it like, hey, we're trying to take care of ourselves, or were we like, no, like we're not gonna get a part of this rebellion? Like things are finally looking good, and then the Riverfolk leave, and then we turn around, and it's like,
Yeah, like I think the messenger from the Riverfolk leaves, and then another messenger is waiting right there to come in.
oh no.
So, yeah, I
pretty
think they would have approached the
and
sages knowing.
also let's raise turmoil by 1.
Yeah.
Oh good.
Turmoil.
Yay.
Oh boy.
And
Uh-oh. Now I guess I'm
Burn
at
it down.
for the audience's edification, having withdrawn from court, I lost favor, and losing favor, I have to hold together. I rolled to hold together because I have such high morale. I rolled an 11, so I gain a surplus of morale, which I already have, so I don't get to take that. But I do have to cue a trigger, and I triggered that another I think I just like wove in with the woven. So funny enough, that the woven assisted us as they did, and they gained influence over the Riverfolk
Yeah, that makes sense.
Nice.
because they have joined the
Because I
rebellion.
lost all my influence during holding court.
Oh no.
And I think you also lose favor and should hold together, Woven.
Oh.
Yeah, that makes sense because we're openly seditious now at this point
Yeah.
as a house.
And I think
Are they openly seditious?
I think Shochi might have wanted to join the rebellion, to oppose the arbiters. Tispal joined the rebellion to oppose the changers of coin. Like,
Yes,
personally.
right, exactly. So we're united, but not for the.
That's cool.
Wow, this role-playing games are good, y'all.
Yeah, so the woven lose the favor.
Mm-hmm.
They go to 0, and we're holding together.
Mm-hmm.
So that's plus mood, and wouldn't you know it,
Yes.
we're in a bad spot right now.
Hmm.
Oh, it's not as bad as it was as I thought it was. We have surpluses of coin, attunement, and raw materials, and our needs are justice, leadership, prestige, and crops.
Hey,
Right.
So our
hey,
mood is
you have
only
influence. You want assistance on that if you want to call into debt?
well. So I've got a 4 on the dice here.
Hmm. Hmm. That's good. That's very good. So yeah, are you?
I can't call for assistance though because it's
Yeah,
you
you
have to
can.
lend
'cause
to give them advantage or disadvantage. You,
Yeah,
you don't have
uh,
influence over me as the river.
I do. I
You
think
do?
I do.
You
double.
Yeah, I still have influence over you.
Oh. But do I lose influence holding court?
No, I
lose
believe
influence
that.
over every faction, right?
Yeah.
Well,
If
I guess
I-
you
if
could
I-
lend aid, but I'm fine with missing on that move.
You sure? Okay.
All right. Good. So
No,
I think.
I was referencing that you could call into debt and relinquish the influence over me it's gotten to gain advantage on a move. Oh, that targets us. Never mind.
Targets
Right.
them.
I'm mistaken.
Target.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
This is very good. The
Y'all want a Game of Thrones RPG? Fuck Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
I'll tell you exactly what happens. And it's such a shame too. It's such a so y'all y'all know that Covenant is where the is where the Woven are based out of. But what we don't know is that things shift and move sometimes, and as perhaps Shochi and Tispal are having their war council with the Riverfolk and trying to address how to keep together in this time of crisis. There is a message that is meant for one or both of them that comes. It appears on a table and smells of cinnamon and is littered with marigolds that kind of blow away into ash. And the letter is picked up by one of the dignitaries who has come to admonish the Woven and try to convince them to join once again. And so I think they maybe leave with their lives, but the Changers of Coin have a letter from your leaders within the realm of the dead.
Oh.
Fuck.
Oh.
What else you got?
Well, I think it's a house move.
Yeah.
I'd like to
What do you-
follow
what
up
do you-
on that.
Yeah,
I think we send Tispal would like look at Shochi and be like, find out how they know.
Yeah.
I hate your guts. You hate my guts. But we both agree this is fucked up. So I think we dispatch our Quetzals once again into the Changers of Coin, because it worked so well last time, to find out how they know what's going on in the underworld. Because they're,
Yeah.
as far as
Yeah,
we
I
know, they're
would-
just meathead mercenaries and bankers.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
All right. So what are you doing move wise? Is that
So I mean, thematically, it's subterfuge, right? We're infiltrating them,
Right.
but we're not trying to do anything.
right? So it's more like read the wind.
It's like reading the wind.
Yeah.
I think it's reading the wind.
So let's read the wind.
Would you like aid with that?
Sure.
Yes, I will lend aid. I will give you an extra die for an advantage.
Roll plus reach with advantage. Make note of which die the Riverfolk led to you, though.
Yes. Hang on. I've got a fancy extra die. You'll be this strawberry cream colored sucker.
All right.
Along with my Halloweeny colors.
Neat.
We
Love
got
strawberry ice cream.
Okay, so the Riverfolk die is a 4.
Okay.
I've got a 5 and a 4.
all right.
It's not the
So it was
lowest.
not ultimate that necessary.
So is it the lowest?
No,
Uh,
technically not.
it's tied for lowest.
Technically not, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, too.
You know
Words
what?
have meaning, JR.
Words have
Words have
meaning.
meaning.
It cuts both ways. I'm gonna go with it. It's not the lowest.
Thank you.
All right. And my reach is +1, so it's a 10.
Excellent. So that's a 10. So yeah, ask a question.
Yeah. What are the movements of the Changers of Coin?
Excellent question. They are gathering their surpluses. They are mustering. If we switch over to the maps real quick, they are currently They are currently mustering forces with the Arbiters to move on Covenant. They're getting ready because it's Covenant, then the fortified temple, because this is sort of the front right now. So they're preparing war barges to go down the rivers, and are calling up troops from their allies within the Keepers of the Tome and stuff like that. And I think also you learned that the old leader of the Changers of Coin, the Doyen Imelda, has died. I think it's not like anything. I think it's natural causes. But I think that the Changers of the Coin's new like faction leader is much more ambitious, much more like hungry for power. I think the Changers of the Coin have always been after influence, but now their movements are a lot more like nakedly aggressive instead of subtly aggressive. And your Quetzal's report that they are led by a woman wearing an armored gown that is adorned with the fang of a great serpent, and that seems to be addressed very like it's like a dress uniform, right? It's ceremonial armor, but they wear it into battle, or at least while they're training their troops.
Yes.
And yeah,
I get to mark the map with a sign of that answer. So I'm trying to think about what it is. It's probably their whatever, like wherever they're marshaling their troops the most, I guess.
Yeah.
They're preparing to march on us. They haven't marched on us
Yes,
yet.
they haven't marched on you yet. They are about to. Also, welcome, Raiders. Welcome to our game of Legacy, Free from the Yoke. We're
Raiders.
currently at war. We're trying to overthrow me.
Some of us are. We're not
JR specifically, not the
Yeah.
faction.
We as
Oh, yeah.
players are trying to usurp power.
Oh, fun fact about
Attack and dethrone JR.
Fun fact about the system, though, is if we do overthrow the Arbiter, the GM role does change. So technically, yes.
It does. You don't have to. Like, I can still run the game and take over the house, and then Kevin takes over or makes a new house that is appropriate.
No, I want to see you as the fucking Thunderlords.
Sounds good. Well, let's see who wins this fight then.
So I put the Changers of Coin fleet here
Excellent.
on the map, which is like just below their HQ.
Yeah, I think it's like slowly moving underway, but it's like heavily armed. So they've bought boats from elsewhere. I think they've like bought up old Imperial hulks and things like that were never meant to be on the river, but they're on the river. And they
My
are
river.
coming. That's the Arbiter's River.
Not anymore. It's fucking not.
What about the other houses? What are the foragers up to?
I have got a plan, which is to call in a debt of my own on the river folk, because I think the foragers are going to send a very polite ambassador, as always, to the river folk. It's not Chimali, because she's not an ambassador anymore, of course. But they show up and they say, "Hey, remember when we built that aqueduct for you recently? Just really glad that you're enjoying it. Super happy about it. You know, we're just going to need to borrow real quick your mech, because we need to do some more repairs on this dam over here that's breaking down. Everybody's in trouble if the dam breaks, so we're just going to need to use that to just snip all the stuff that's growing on the dam. Really not working conventional methods, so one mech to ease."
Ooh.
One mech.
So it sounds like calling a debt.
Oh
Yep.
my gosh.
Holy shit.
what do you do, Riverfolk?
So you're trying to take the mech surplus?
Try to take that surplus
Sounds
with
like
Mac.
it. Yep.
Hours.
One moment, please.
That's what the arbiter wants.
we must. Who's leading this like mission? This diplomatic envoy, like.
I think it's
Who is-
probably one of the forgers, like engineers, that one of the people who built the aqueduct in the first place.
So it's someone who like
Some fucking nerd.
Yeah, it's definitely a
like
nerd.
hasn't done this, right? Because like Chimali has some relationship with them, but this is someone who's it's not their job. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Was this
And
person sent because they're like, let's send that guy. That we can spare that one if he doesn't come back.
I think what it is it's one of the engineers who worked on the aqueducts, so they know that like,
Ah.
okay, this guy has personally done something for us that we can see, every day.
Hmm
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I love it.
One quick question.
Yeah.
Does me lending aid to the Woven count as bringing aid in their time of need?
I don't
I don't think yet.
Okay.
think yet. Yeah, I think it's not.
So I lost that influence.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's not like
So-
Rohan coming to help out Gondor levels.
Okay. I mean,
Exactly.
dude, there's still 3.
All right.
1, 2,
Pull
Oh,
together.
great.
2.
Excellent.
A 6
Good.
after the ad? Dang.
So you refuse, which is, I mean, that's to be expected.
Yeah. That's
Fair.
family. That's
Yeah,
fucking
that's-
family.
That mech is family.
My cousin is in that mech. You can count.
That mech is family.
That is all we have left of Great Whim.
I think, yeah, turmoil. So I'm going to say that turmoil increases by 1. And if we flip back over to the map, let me mark a sign
Oh,
of
yeah.
what is happening.
So I made it worse for my side by doing that.
Oh.
No, Turmoil is not the same as Doom.
It's not the same as Doom. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doom is Doom and Control are a different track.
Good.
Is it, or it's Doom and something.
Doom and progress.
So
Yes.
the Hua have now claimed the archipelagos.
What?
Oh, that's fine.
Oh.
Ooh.
So
Their flags rise up and can be seen. Their boats patrol the ocean.
Wait, that's not good for us though. We have a bunch of monasteries there.
Uh-huh.
Maybe
You
you
had
should
a
have joined the
monetary
fucking
monasteries
rebellion.
I do think you still have those monasteries there. I think
Okay.
they are under Hua control, but like
Yeah. Okay.
Those
They have-
dogs.
they have laid claim to the
Ooh,
archipelagos here.
love these little skulls.
Skulls and flower.
Oh, that's a pretty good name, Skulls and Flowers.
Yeah,
And I
because
think
Hua means flower.
I think that people are bummed in general by this. Like
Oh.
nobody likes that this is happening. I think that there's like a like throughout Haven, like Morales is fracturing rapidly, and like whatever momentum there might have been to kind of unify either against the arbiters or against the Riverfolk, it
Uh-huh.
evaporates.
Oh, okay.
Hang on, that sounds bad.
So people are like, they're going from like, this rebellion is the thing, to like this petty squabble
Oh,
is
no.
is like leaving our nation in ruin, kind of.
Ooh, ooh.
Oh, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
I
like this. I
Uh,
don't like the rolling ball. No,
What
I
about-
don't
Do
like
you
about-
believe in life after Empire?
what about the Ashes? What are they up to?
We came back from Empire once.
Veeb, what are the Ashes up to?
Um,
After all of this happened,
Ashes are just like, what the? We were like with the rebellion, but what the hell is what's going on with the rest of the world?
Wait, Are the ashes with the rebellion?
I don't think they haven't declared anything yet, but I was thinking
Okay.
that they were softly allied with the Riverkin on Vib's recommendation.
Is that a flip to the doom, or like we're not like?
I don't think
That sounds like-
they've declared anything outwardly. I was trying to
They-
decide in the house.
They haven't blocked and unfollowed you yet.
Oh no.
And muted.
They've only
Yeah.
soft blocked the
Yeah,
Arbiter.
they've unfollowed on Facebook, but they moved them to a list on Twitter. Like their stuff still comes up. They just don't go out of their way.
Everyone that asks them, they're like, "Look, I just like to know what they're up to. That's why I follow them."
So let's leave
Yeah.
that for now, and what are you doing?
Between two thoughts, either I think the ashes are they're gonna try to claim by force the church, or they're going to look for Imperial mechs.
All right.
Wait,
I think both of those are good options.
So hang on, point of order. Do you need to claim by force the church because the sages, they converted their city to
No, the Imperial
other-
Temple.
Yeah, I think it's yeah. I
Oh,
think-
okay, so this was never yours. It's just something you brought up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think
Okay.
there's someone there, right? Like there are
Part
some.
of the tome are
Yeah.
occupying it for the Arbiter.
Yeah. Oh. Ooh.
So yeah, if you want to claim it by force, by all means.
Hang on.
Decide if I
That will be
wanna-
kind of declaring your side.
Yeah.
Looking for Imperial mechs is a more neutral kind of a thing.
That's just preparation.
I don't know. You could maybe justify claiming that. You'd be like, no, we had to take over the temple because the keepers of the tome weren't doing anything.
Yeah.
we needed to help in
Yeah.
the rebellion effort. So like,
You You could probably say like, no, this has nothing to do with that. It has to do with like you could. I feel like you could justify it for like a personal reason, not a.
Mhm.
Don't take it personally, arbiters.
Like, would you like some help?
Would we like some help?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do the claim by force just because that seems.
All
more
right,
interesting.
let's do it. All right.
Uh,
I love this. I'm here for it. Let's go big and then go home. 'Cause,
Is there?
Uh,
Hang on. The only mechanical way for house move on house level play to assist each other is Lendade, right?
yes.
Okay.
Unless you have like some character move that kind of bleeds over into house play, but I don't think there's one for this.
I'm just wondering, like, if.
Uh,
Never mind. This is not important. We could talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. So,
Yeah.
it sounds like you're claiming by force. When you claim by force, when you direct your house to seize or maintain control of a resource, roll plus grasp. So roll plus grasp.
I just looked at my grasp. This is not a great choice.
Good. Good.
Didn't you take the thing that gives you a bonus to it?
I think so, right?
Or is that only when you're defending your own assets?
Oh wait. That's a good point. I do have a move that says when I claim by force, gain surplus attunement. I don't know if that does anything though. Although I guess
To maintain control of a resource.
yeah.
Yeah, that's in control. So this is to seize it. So
We're
roll
taking a new one.
here. So roll plus grasp.
Yeah, it's 2d6, right?
Yep.
Yep.
And let's see how this goes. What do the like armies of the ashes of Prithvi look
That's
like?
a good
Oh,
question. I feel like they actually are pretty strong. I think Mira has shifted to creating like a military force that's more like guerrilla soldiers, just because we kind of were already attuned to the land and stuff, and using rituals to like deal with weather and stuff. So I think that's kind of how they took over that, and that's also a more comfortable position for Mira. rather than being on the council, is being in charge of
Yeah.
military
So
forces.
so roll plus grasp. How'd we do?
I did a 10. Yes.
Ooh, all right. So on a 10, choose one. It's not completely yours yet. The forces you use must stay here until the start of the next season. If they leave or are removed, you lose control of this place. There is a cost to your victory. You get a need of my choice. You cause chaos and suffering, raise turmoil.
I like it's not completely yours yet, because that's kind of what I was
Okay.
thinking anyway, is that having a section of them there. So I think now the military forces have to
Yeah,
stay there.
I think they have to stay there. I don't think I think the keepers of the tome are very like they're dug in. They're kind of defending it and trying to. They're not fighting you so much as petitioning the arbiters. How do you justify this to the arbiters and to the rest of the houses? Are you openly declaring with the insurrection, or are you trying to spin it?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
We are the people's movement.
Well, there's lots of people moving right now.
I think they're openly declaring that they're with the rebellion in the hopes
Okay.
that this will this will get some alliances
Oh
with the
my
River
God.
Kid. They're like, River Kid,
Oh,
please.
this is gonna be a short season.
Oh my god! This insurrection is so
Which brings us to
strange.
me, Chimali.
I think that makes sense for a young group of
Yeah.
people. They're like, let's fight.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's right. Chimali, the changes of coin have influence on you, and
Oh, gross.
they do. They are calling that influence in.
I don't like that.
Well, I mean, no one does.
That's fair.
No one does. They need your crops. They are requesting your crops so that they may better help fill their troops and fuel the arbiters' just confrontation against these rebels.
Well, let's see. So if I don't want that to happen, I can try holding together.
Yes, if you don't want that to happen, you can try holding together.
Okay. Interesting.
Look at your mood. Your mood should tell you.
My
if you
mood
have
is
any
at
chance or not.
0.
Mm-hmm.
Just great. It's not
Nope.
great at all.
So,
I wanted to bully people into giving me stuff, not the other way around.
influence. I have a map of who they have influence over, and it's
I mean,
the,
you only
You can bully
you
us.
refuse either way. Like you don't they don't
Right.
get it. Like as long as you hold together, but
Yeah.
it's just what are the consequences of that?
Exactly.
Because it could be that.
or you give it to them. I mean, that's
Yeah, I could give it to them. It's true. Nah, I'm gonna
Right.
roll.
hold together, baby.
Hold together, baby.
As Han
Oh
Solo
god.
in
Uh oh.
Star Trek.
I got. Oh my god. I got a 1
Mhm.
and a 5. Plus
Yeah,
1
that's
is
6.
7.
Now you said you had a
Oh.
0.
Oh, you're right. It's not plus 1. It is 0.
Yeah, you have a 0, so you have
no.
6.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Hard
no!
moves, hard moves, hard.
Yeah, so the changers of coin think that it's very cute that you are not honoring their request, but it wasn't. They weren't asking.
Oh.
You erase crops. Progress goes up by 1.
Oh
All right.
shit!
Rude. So rude.
Join the rebellion.
This is not a request from their house. It is a mandate from the arbiters. They are protecting the people. This rebellion must be dealt with swiftly because there are enemies at all of our gates right now. This is not the time for infighting. This is not the time for selfish hoarding of resources.
That's great.
And similarly, they also have influences over the sages.
Oh,
Mhm.
Hmm.
They call on you. They call on you to decry the decry the sins of the Riverfolk.
Oh, wait, hold up.
Interesting.
Would that also give me? Would that in turn lead me to get hold on them?
Only when you eventually absolve them.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. So I get hold, and then I can absolve them later. Okay. Yeah. So.
But
Right, okay.
they specifically say, you know,
To-
not.
yeah. Okay. I think in some weird way,
Mhm.
the sages are like, because we need I think I'm doing a meta move of saying we need more. I feel like if 3 of the players are siding with the arbiters, I'm willing to lean hard with the sages a little bit, at least in the early parts of this season. And I
Mhm.
think the sages are like because of this tantrum that the river folk are throwing, we are like they don't understand the good that is coming from us, and in turn we are now losing the grasp on this land that we fought and gave so much to get back. They, of all people, should understand the loss of what we of what we had to do to get it back, and they think they're not grateful for it. And like that's kind of the sages like openly, all throughout our temples, throughout all the cities of Haven, are just kind of being like, oh, you hearing about this rebellion? Like they kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, great. So I think as the new as the as the leader of the Changers of Coin, she personally came out to request this from the leaders of
Oh.
Cinder. So
Oh shit.
she is the red coin. She is the armored fist of the market. She is the changer of coin.
I love it.
She will
I think,
not
like,
be dead.
God, I love that. This is also penned by Hiran, like a
Mhm.
character from the first season, who probably still is like, oh, these river folk.
And
Will they never give up?
And-
So yeah.
I think that's where we leave off for today. The with rebellion spreading throughout the land of Haven, with enemies marching in from the northwest and sailing in from the southeast, surrounded on all sides, torn apart from within, as somewhere in a darkened room, one of the Changers of Coin opens a letter and reads, as somewhere in the town formerly known as Bungarum, a Tusk Lord dances with some of the Kush Dharmas, the rishis of the Kush Dharma, as the Hua fail to take the island monastery and are rebuffed by a like it's a really cool, like we see like the armies kind of the Hua coming up on the monastery, and there's like a one of the sages of Cinder who's kind of beaten but not broken, still holding their flag up defiantly, like something's about to go down. And that's where we'll call it today. Be sure and join us next week. We'll find out if I'm still going to be running this game. I don't know what's going to happen, but I think it's going to be real interesting. We went big for Act 2. So it's going to be more of this. We did a lot of world building up front, and it's so that we can now burn it all down because we know what it's like. So please come back next Wednesday. Same Haven time, same Haven channel. Thank you so much for joining us, for giving your Wednesdays to us. This is getting even more fun by the minute. If you enjoy this and want to come hang out with us on Discord, please join the All Nerds Here Discord. I almost said the All Havens Here Discord. There is a channel for Haven and Reclaim where we can talk about what's happened. Also, be sure and tune in on Sundays for City and Mists, and come check out like some cool noir stuff. You can find a few familiar faces on that, and one of those familiar faces is, Simon.
It's true. It's me. I'm on that show on Sundays at 3 p.m. Eastern. You should check it out. We do some neo-noir superhero mystery solving in that old City of Mist. It's a great time. My name is Simon. You can find me on Twitter at Lucha Libris. I write tabletop role-playing games, some of which you can purchase at colorspraygames.itch.io. I am a voice actor for the Penumbra Podcast, which is a queer sci-fi and fantasy audio drama. If you want to see yourself represented in stories, you can go to @thepenumbrapod on Twitter, thepenumbrapodcast.com, and wherever fine podcasts are downloaded. I am a professional GM for Magpie Games through the Curated Play program. If you go to magpiegames.com/curated-play, you can find out how you can get linked up with me or many other fantastic GMs. Playing games like Masks, Pasión de las Pasiones, Bluebeard's Bride, and the upcoming Root role-playing game. I'm not currently running any games through the program, though, because, wouldn't you know it, I'm writing for the Root role-playing game, so keep your eyes peeled for information about that very, very soon. But Kickstarter backers already know that I'm one of the authors working on a supplement for the book, or for the game that's coming out. So, eyes open. And aside from that, we've announced it, right, Kevin? We've finally done it.
Yes, yes, we
It's
have.
official. So
This week
the
we can
15th,
speak.
15th of this month,
It's
at Sundays, we're doing After the War.
Yeah.
From Jason Pitra, which I'll let Kevin talk about. Also tomorrow, if you're not doing anything, at 9:30 Eastern, Chicken Police. What a game I randomly found on Steam. A bunch of us together kind of streamed it, kind of casually through the demo. I played a couple hours of it last week. It's wild. It's got some incredible world building. It's got a really compelling story. I don't know what's going on, but if you want to see BoJack Horseman run through a mult filter, come check it out. Twitch.tv/LuchaLibris tomorrow, 9:30 Eastern PM. That's me.
Chicken police. Chicken police.
And then I'm still reeling from this rebellion. Then be sure and speaking of cool streamers, though, be sure and check out Alex.
Oh yes, I have just recently started streaming some video games at Fractal Dragon, not itch.io, twitch.tv/Fractal Dragon, and I've been playing some Hades on there, which has been really fun, and you can check that out. I am still a tiny baby channel, so every follower really helps. I don't know what you get when you get to 50 people, but like it's this goal that I'm like, I need to do it because you're not real otherwise. I don't know what the point is.
It's not even a good number.
Yeah.
Alex, we paid.
Definitely go back and find The Run, which I think is the
Yes.
video for the most recent one, which is amazing.
That was really fun getting some cool Hades builds. Aside from that, I am also on itch.io as a game designer. You can check that out. I have made a couple cool games on there, and I'm probably going to release a couple more, I don't know, sometime at some point. On Fridays, every other Friday, so not this Friday, but next Friday, I am on Chimera Cape and Blade, wonderful superhero fantasy mashup game run by Amar Auroras that is so fun, and all of our characters are terrible disasters. Maybe even more than here, which is saying a lot.
What? How dare you need to be
Have
more
y'all done war
disasters.
crimes? I don't know.
That's true, actually. Our last episode was surprisingly wholesome, despite having the potential to go far off the rails. That's a good point. Angela is only a moderate disaster. I feel like you have a lot of potential to cause disasters that have not been realized yet.
Now, I think we are incredible disasters over here. I mean, look at our map.
Yeah, that a lot happened today.
Just look at them.
Good. A lot. A lot happened. We're burning it all to the ground too.
Burn all.
Speaking though of burning it all to the ground, assuming that we're done with Alex. Speaking of burning it all, Rue.
Yes, I'm Rue. I'm burning it all down. That's it. You can find me at Cherry Drop on Twitter. I do production here, and I also do it in a couple other places. Yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. And then we've got the loyal, true, brave, good-hearted, honorable Viditia.
Fucking
Shoot
snitch.
me. Oh, now I'm kind of thinking I might see if I'll change the dark.
Oh, I think I'm gonna be a bad guy in this game.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, what is being a bad guy other than like submitting to imperialism? But it's whatever. We can talk about this later. Instead, I want to tell you, or you can
Yes,
buy my
submit to my imperialism.
Oh my god. I've been and continue to be Viditia Valetti. You can find me on Twitter at Viditia Valetti. You can find my games at viditiavaletti.itch.io. Support me on Patreon, patreon.com/Viditia Valetti. And follow me on Twitch as well. I am also a Twitch streamer. So many of us. Tomorrow, before Chicken Police, you should come because I'll be doing at 7 p.m. EST. I'll be doing another episode of Our Craft, a designer, like a chill designer hangout, where me and this week's guest is Adam Buffoni, who made Elfin Folk, a very wonderful game and a really wonderful person. You should come by because we're just going to play some Minecraft for a little bit, talk about just what it means to be a designer, why we make games, how we cope with making games. We're all it's a good time. And so I'm excited to do that. That should go until around 9:30. So stick around and jump on over to Simon for Chicken Police afterwards. Similarly, this Sunday I will be on After the War with Kevin, and
Yes.
but that's it. Oh, sorry, I do have one more. There's a Kickstarter that's going to start in a week that I'm going to be writing for. It's called The House. The House Doesn't Always Win. I forgot where the negative in that goes. The House Doesn't Always Win. It's a very interesting card-based system, role-playing game. I will be writing a small setting for it. So you should go look it up and follow the Kickstarter for when it launches.
That's awesome. Be sure and check that out. Then also the Kevin.
But also Kevin.
The Kevin.
No. Like
Kevin. Thank you.
oh, just to toss aside all artifice. This is awesome. We talked about this a lot before the game. It's in the rules. It's a ton of fun. I couldn't be happier. I'm just leaning into being petty.
No, I really did come to the table being like, I'm gonna make the river folk try and be friends with
Yeah,
everybody.
you did. You did.
I am in the way I totally did not intend. We are gonna be friends through conflict and violence, and whether you want it or fucking not.
I think a lot of interesting stuff can happen. So this is good. Like, there's
The
a lot
river
of
folk are Lenium. Y'all are the bunny.
never take it personally, right? That's
Yeah.
like that's a good rule to live by.
This is good fucking storytelling. This is fucking
good
fun.
times. Anyway, Kevin, who is a very good friend and also
Kevin, who has been blocked by JR on more than one occasion. I am best-selling author Kevin T and Wulong Win. That you get all 5 names today. I make games. You can find them on the itch. You can unfollow me on Twitter. You can unfollow me on Instagram. You can unfollow me on Pillowfort.
Who the fuck uses Pillow
I
Fort?
I still got a Tumblr some out there somewhere if you want to try and find that. And let's see, I don't got any new games coming out anytime soon.
I mean, you
That's
might be
depressing.
Red Haven on Wednesdays at 8 p.m.
Yes, I might be doing Haven, but I don't have any like itch games. I don't have any. I'm not making any games coming
Right.
out anytime soon. But I am running on twitch.tv/go_JG, Jess's channel, a good friend. I am running After the War by Jason Pietro, Genesis of Legend, a great storytelling game about post-war life on an outer space colony, where in which there is an infectious mimetic disease, and these folks are Viditya, Simon, Jess, and Dominique, who has written a beautiful game called Trial. Please go check out their game. I will try and link their game if possible. And please come check us out. And they will be playing settlers of this colony, and in which they find that there may be an infection of this mimetic disease, and they don't know for sure who may or may not be infected. Very The Thing, very Among Us sort of vibes, very like sort of paranoid horror type stuff, and we will be sure to drop ample content warnings, because it is very serious content, and it's heavy content, and we want people to buy into that, because we want you to know to engage. It's going to be an active thing, and that's going to be very exciting. And I'm back here next Wednesday running this game, I guess. Come back to check out JR, who's going to be running the Thunderlords next week.
See who runs this game by, like, I figure we'll have it sorted by the time we go to break. Speaking of me, JR, I'm JR. You can follow me on Twitter. You can find the RPG articles that I write over at Bell of Lost Souls. You can check out my work. I wrote for the Role Player's Guide to Heists. I'm writing on the upcoming Monster Care Squad and a couple other things that are happening in the works. So check that out. I will also be here on Wednesday fighting for truth, justice, and the Haven Way. In the meantime, like, boy, it feels like this Wednesday feels so much different than last Wednesday, and I'm glad you're all here to celebrate this with us. But as Haven is showing, the work of liberation is never done. It is always an active process. So, like, this is the time, if you're feeling good, if you're feeling celebratory, this is the time to, like, use that energy, relax, enjoy, like, decompress. We all need that after that nightmare of a week. But go out there, please, and like, keep that energy going. Like, the only reason things turned around as much as they did is because everyone got involved. Find something close to you, find something local, right? That's where you can make the most change. I've seen ballot tallies for local elections come down to the wire. Like, find the people in your community that you care about and just, like, get involved with them. See what you can do to help, because if we're gonna make 2021 and beyond a much better year, like, ain't nobody gonna do it but us. So we should all get out there and do it, and then celebrate by coming here and watching us play Legacy Fear for the Yoke, which is gonna happen next week. In the meantime, have a great weekend, enjoy yourselves, check out all of us, hang out, have a cool time, and be excellent to each other.
We're gonna be raiding Kubo Night.
Oh, and we're gonna go raid Kubo Knight, who's playing some Genshin Impact. So
Ooh.
get your fill of gacha fun. That game is amazing. It's like if Breath of the Wild was a little more anime. It has some of the best characters. Like, look up Paimon and Emergency Food Supply, and you'll know what I'm all about.
I just, like, when I close my eyes, I just hear Diluc dominates the line, and it's
Oh my god, right?
fucking my mind if I have to hear about these.
Across the land.
Let's all go harvest some resources and beat up flowers until we get stuff.
Cool.
I'm
Love to
blissfully
harvest.
ignorant here.
You don't get goddamn you don't